We're gonna watch a fucking Core 8 gaming video on why you should fucking buff things instead of nerf them.
In the lifespan of nearly every competitive game, there comes a player that's so dominant that they ruin it for everyone. The man who broke basketball was Lakers legend George Mikan. At 6 feet 10 inches, his unbeatable defensive strategy was to stand near the basket and stop any shot that was about to go in. You might be surprised that there wasn't already a goaltending rule in place, but before the 1940s, the thought of anybody able to reach high enough to goaltend was unfathomable. In fighting games, rule changes usually come in the form of nerfs and buffs. Anyone with a Twitter account following fighting gamers knows that having a fruitful conversation about character balance can be difficult. It's no surprise given how subjective and personal it is. It's hard to state your opinions on fairness without looking biased, and if you do it too much, you start looking like a crybaby. This is about the time when someone steps in and says, "Adapt!" Not only does adapt make for a badass t-shirt, it's a powerful attitude that shows how resilient you are in the face of any challenge. And that was precisely the attitude of the Fort Wayne Pistons when faced with Mikan and the Lakers. Their strategy against the most OP player in basketball was to make a quick lead early on and play keep away from the other team until the time ran out. It worked, and the Pistons beat the Lakers 19-18 in the lowest scoring game in NBA history. Of course, this was only possible because there was no shot clock at the time, and as you might have guessed, this is why they made one. In the end, the goaltending rule nerfed Mikan, but the shot clock rule actually buffed him by making the teams have to deal with him. Why would they make a rule that benefits Mikan? Because the ultimate goal of nerfing and buffing isn't to balance, but to make a game that's fun to play and watch. People wanted to watch and play basketball, not professional hot potato.
Oh my fuck, can you imagine? Can you imagine? The point of a fucking buff is to make the fucking character feel good to play?
I think focusing on balance too much can hurt a game in a similar way to how focusing on money too much can lead to an unhappier life. Business scholars call this medium maximization, which Raj Raghunathan describes as the propensity to forget all about the end goal one wants to achieve and to pursue instead the means or mediums to that end goal. Just like how money is worthless by itself because it's paper and metal, balance is also worthless by itself. Street Fighter 1 is the only Street Fighter to be perfectly balanced, but it's boring because you can only play as two characters who fight exactly the same. Obviously, this isn't the 5-5 utopia everyone's imagining, and it's because we want to see a diverse set of characters and movesets. Balance updates are ways to increase the frequency of underrepresented characters and reduce overrepresented ones, but there are different ways of going about this. One way is to buff the weak. Buffs are exciting and fun, and it's why we have Marvel.
Everybody loves buffs.
Buffs are so awesome, it kind of feels like a Faustian bargain that'll bite us in the ass later if we wish for too much. But I thought about it, and the worst thing that can happen if everybody gets way too buffed is this.
Oh no, Rainbow Edition was so not fun at all. Actually, it was fucking
awesome. This is a hacked
awesome.
version of Street Fighter 2 Championship Edition made by Hungshi Enterprise Taiwan, and it was called Street Fighter 2 Rainbow Edition. You've got homing fireballs, instant teleports, unlimited air specials, shape-shifting, and yoga flames coming out of knees. Basically, every character got buffed to the point of absurdity, and while it's a pretty dumb game, it was kind of fun, and I remember dropping in some quarters to play it back in the day. Where else can you do hands Hadouken into jab, teleport, cross-up, standing fierce? The game might have been dumb, but it innovated many of the fighting game concepts we see today. Rainbow Edition was actually the catalyst that inspired Street Fighter 2 Turbo Hyper Fighting, which also featured a faster speed, air specials, a teleport for Dalsum, a fireball for Chun-Li, and a sales figure of over 4 million copies on the SNES alone. The reason why Rainbow Edition was so interesting and influential wasn't because they just made everyone do more damage and move faster. It was because they gave the characters new abilities and new options. Now just imagine what it would be like if instead of Rainbow Edition, they made a hack called Gray Edition where everybody was nerfed to absurdity.
This is what it's like to play Destiny 2.
No more specials, no more combos, no more throwing. We've actually already played this game in 1984. It was called Karate Champ, and it's one of the most honest and balanced fighting games ever made. Nerfing is a good tool for balancing, but it's no secret people generally don't like it. Even Capcom has acknowledged this in a PowerPoint slide that's been floating around last year. But why do we dislike nerfs so much, even if we understand it's meant to balance the game?
Loss aversion!
Psychologically, humans and even apes are prone to what's known as loss aversion. Loss aversion is a theory that suggests that losses hurt twice as much as gains feel good.
It's true.
For example, imagine I offer you to play a game of heads or tails where if it lands on tails, you lose $10. How much money would you have to win on heads for you to be willing to play this game? Psychologists found that people would accept the challenge starting at $20 for winning, which is exactly twice the amount you could lose. This suggests that one nerf on your character will hurt twice as bad as one buff of similar caliber will feel good. It can be argued that nerfing is a necessary evil to prevent the game from breaking. There are creative ways to do this that can improve the game instead of just making everyone depressed. One of the most hype-inducing changes I've seen was actually a nerf. During the life of Street Fighter IV, Ryu's Shoryuken was altered many times. Originally, you could cancel any version of the Shoryuken by sacrificing 2 bars of meter to make yourself safe in case your opponent blocked. But after a few patches, they removed the ability to cancel the heavy version, which is the one that did the most damage. While this seems like a bummer on the surface, it gave players the option to do a safe but weaker version, or a risky but damaging version. When you had the resources to cancel, but opted for the high damage version, you were telling your opponent that you're not scared and you figured them out.
I mean, there's making a statement, and then
I fucking love
going ham.
I fucking love that he's using this example.
I think he's going for the record.
This nerf was clever because it gave the player a new way to express themselves at the cost of some damage and safety. In contrast, if we look at Ryu's Shoryuken nerf for Season 2 of Street Fighter V, they just removed his ability to do a meterless invincible uppercut.
Just block the
they
DP, man!
Removed every move like this from the game, which caused some controversy. Predictably, the most common reaction to this was about balance. You often hear things like, "Welcome to what it's like to be Guile," or "Ryu is dead." But what about its impact on the game's fun? Did this nerf make the game more exciting? Did it make for more creative strategies? Did this allow the player to express themselves in new ways? It might have helped.
Yeah, Wooly did pick the most obnoxious Blanca costume right before that opportunity got banned.
By itself. Pro player Infiltration actually benefited from this nerf, but still disagreed with it because he felt it made the game less exciting.
무적 시간을 그렇게 조정한 거는 좀
What happened to that Wooly fight? So Wooly won a round on Daigo, and then Daigo just started doing Shoryus at random because he somehow knew when Wooly was not going to block them.
Characters end up overall with more options and more abilities.
He just
not the
knew
other way around.
when Wooly was not going to block them, so he hits him with like 4 HP Shoryus in a row.
Also have more ways to solve problems. A hard matchup can seem more manageable if you can choose from more specials, ultras, or isms, and people like seeing their characters do cool new stuff. Because hard nerfing and taking away abilities can be so depressing and kill the excitement, I feel it should be reserved for extreme cases, or creative nerfs that can actually make the game more enjoyable. And even in games that don't get balance patches, the players will convene and make rules if things get really unbalanced anyway.
Yeah, there's some stuff in Turbo,
Regardless,
like,
it turns out people still enjoyed Marvel 2 with its infinites and Melee with wobbling.
Oh no, like I'm thinking like Marvel, where you don't do Guile's fucking, not Guile, Gambit's fucking teleport
might
glitch.
not even be touched. Even as the target of nerfs by multiple basketball leagues, George Mikan was a big proponent of a buff that players like him could never benefit from. He wanted basketball to have a 3-point line because it would give smaller players
George
a chance to
Mikan
score
rules.
And open
Never
up
heard
the
of him before
defense
this
to make
video.
the game more enjoyable for the fans. In 1979, the NBA added the 3-point line, and Mikan got exactly what he predicted. Let me know in the comments how you think balance changes should be done, or if there shouldn't be any changes in the first place. This was Gerald from Corey.
Hey Gerald, from Corey Gaming, you do good video. You do great video, Gerald. So yeah, I think you should fucking not let buffs and nerfs get in the way of having fun. I think maybe when you go to look at whether or not you should nerf your fucking character, you should think about, oh, I don't know, whether or not that thing will still be fun to fucking play. Fucking nerf my breakneck. It wasn't even good, man. Here's how. Hey Pat, how do you feel? How do you feel about that PlayStation 5 Switch? Well, let's ask Lance McDonald what he thinks. Cool new innovation fresh from the fucking idiot factory. Who is Lance McDonald? Lance McDonald is the guy who modded Bloodborne and run at 60 FPS. All right. Not even. Oh, is it all? Is all after the part I stopped?
For it, but thinking about how our internal processes of dev assist group and how those work with Starfield, for people to get a quality experience there. And we should have been there for Harvey and the team earlier. I think that's on
Oh,
us.
fuck, I'm
and
a
then
big
through
Pat.
the process, it's an Unreal game. We have a bunch of studios that have done some really great work on Unreal over the years. And I think we were too late to help in that when they had certain issues that they were working through, which any team will. It's nothing to do with the specific engine. But we have a lot of experience, and we needed to get on that earlier with.
Are you hearing him like blame something and then realize he just blamed Unreal Engine and then say it has nothing to do with any specific engine because he realizes that's like a really bad thing to do? You caught that, right?
The team, and we didn't do that. And that's not an excuse. And you asked just to kind of diagnose. So when the 60 frames per second issue came up, we were definitely diving in. We had people from the Coalition and people from Rare and stuff looking, both teams that have done some really great work with Unreal to help us build a 60 FPS plan. But obviously that was a plan that had to be in place last fall in order for us to really be in a position to have it at launch. And I take that as learning, as painful as it is. But as you said, it's part of getting to success.
We are at the point in the video game business that people have been doing this for 30 years. Everybody knows that you need to have your tech goals like a year before the fucking game comes out. Like Tears of the Kingdom. They said, hey, we would like to do these things and we want to work this way. And then Nintendo said, okay, work on it till it's good.
Are those learnings in that diagnosis? There's a bunch of other stuff I could go into, but then we end up with kind of dev doc, which I'm happy to do. But yeah.
Well, Phil, we don't have much time with you, so I'm going to go around the table, give everybody one final question for Phil. I'm going to rattle off a couple quick ones with you, Phil. Of course, we talk about 60 frames, 30 frames. Should Xbox players expect a clear message this summer with Starfield with 30 and 60 frames? That's a big lesson learned, as you brought up. Should we expect that answer? It's clear as day?
Yeah.
Okay, that's a great one. Another one, you see a lot of conversation.
He didn't. That doesn't. All he just said was you can expect a clear as day answer about it.
Of course, I want to praise you and the team for really elevating the PC side of this Xbox ecosystem. I think we've seen a lot of great strides in that. But when you see...
Okay, this is my gut. This is my stomach saying this. Okay? Do you get the feeling as he's saying, oh, I really want to praise the team, oh, I love the team, Xbox, that Phil is like disgusted? Like, are you getting that? Because I'm getting that vibe that he's like, ew, stop it.
Sir, it's clear as day?
Yeah.
Okay, that's a great one. Another one, you see a lot of conversation, of course. I want to praise you and the team for really elevating the PC side of this Xbox ecosystem. I think we've seen a lot of great strides in that. But when you see the community talk about the console side of things, do you think you've lost the focus or maybe put too much onto the PC side? Do you think that the console is still getting the console love that it deserves, whether it be the homepage update, achievements, of course, looking forward and using the power of this next gen? Do you think you guys have lost that focus, or is it still there, and can we see more love on that side?
Well, we'll definitely continue to focus on making our console experience as great as it can be. I like the homepage refresh and some stuff. I will say, this might be disruptive as well. We have a different vision. Paris talked about this. It's play the games you want with the people you want, anywhere you want. We want Xbox to be something that people who buy our console can feel like they're a member of. Obviously, who are playing on PC, who are playing on cloud, that they feel like they're full members of our ecosystem. Game Pass players can play on many different devices.
Guys, I am so glad to feel like a full member of the Xbox ecosystem.
And we remain fully committed to that. We're not in the business of out-consoling Sony or out-consoling Nintendo. There isn't really a great solution or win for us. And I know that will upset a ton of people, but it's just the truth of the matter is that when you're third place in the console marketplace and the top two players are as strong as they are and have, in certain cases, very discrete focus on doing deals and other things that will that kind of make being Xbox hard.
He's really mad about Final Fantasy 16. Did you hear him say that? Because I heard him say that. He is really mad about FF16. You know what the best part is? Did you see the fucking interview with Yoshi P, where he said that fucking PlayStation gave them a better deal? Like they were shopping the game around, and Sony just like literally just offered them more money to be on PlayStation.
For us as a team, that's on us. Not
And better
anybody
support,
else.
yeah.
Our vision is that everybody who's on console has to feel like they have a great experience and they're a first-class citizen. They've invested a ton in our platform. But we are not in a position, and I see it out there. I see commentary that if you just build great games, everything would turn around. It's just not true that if we go off and build great games, all of a sudden you're going to see console share shift in some dramatic way. We lost the worst generation to lose in the Xbox One generation, where everybody built their digital library of games. So when you go and you're building on Xbox, we want our Xbox community to feel awesome. But this idea that if we just focused more on great games on our console, that somehow we're going to win the console race, I think doesn't really lay into the reality of most people. Like 90% of the people every year who walk into a retailer to buy a console are already a member of one of the three.
So he's completely right. I have a shit ton of games on PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5. I have a ton. I have like 2 on the Xbox. When PlayStation 6 comes out and they say it's backwards compatible with PS4 and PS5, I'm going to get a PS6. Like, that's it. That's it. Oh, they're so done. Oh, that's so sad. Oh, that's big sad. Big sad for Microsoft. They really did fucking horribly botch that shit. They horribly botched the Xbox One gen. Like, they are at, like, and Nintendo's Nintendo. And Nintendo will always be Nintendo, will be Nintendo. My mother still calls video games Nintendo. You know why? Because video games are Nintendo. Because Nintendo. But yeah, it might help if they had made Halo good. If they had put out like one good Halo game, that would have actually been pretty good for them. I'm just saying. Hey, are you kids ready for fighting games? The first video we're going to watch tonight, I put in there because I like fighting games again. And many of you are going to be playing fighting games next week. So, there's a topic about fighting games that you all need to know about. A very important thing about fighting games you all need to know about. And that's salt.
In fighting games, win quotes have traditionally been one of the few moments you can learn about a character's backstory and personality. but in the first Street Fighter, you would actually see a lose quote each time you defeated your opponent. The first line is a compliment, but the very next sentence is pretty salty. Sometimes a lose quote can say more about someone than their win quote, and this is why there's a Twitter user known as ScrubQuotesX whose feed is full of salty lose quotes from people who lost in a fighting game. Losing sucks, and it's why game developers have made all sorts of ways to make it suck less. There are now checkpoints, continues, difficulty levels, hints, and of course, the white Tanuki suit.
This everyone's a winner stuff is a bunch of bullshit. If you suck, you should lose.
Generally, you can reduce the amount of losing by making a game easier to beat, but this doesn't work with head-to-head competitive games because both players are trying to win. No matter how easy or accessible you make the game, one of the two players is going to lose.
Paper covers rock. This is my room. No!
This means one-on-one games will necessarily result in half the player base experiencing a loss at any given time, and this generates a lot of salt and consequently a lot of complaints.
You lose, you feel bad, and you stop playing.
Yeah.
DBFZ is really easy to play, but if someone's better than you, you don't get to play. Casuals just don't want to get steamrolled in a fighting game.
I actually super agree with him. In DBFZ and like Marvel style games, if you are bad at it, you do not get to play at all. You do not get to play at all.
What is it about these games that make people so salty to the point where salt is ingrained in fighting game culture, and how does it affect us?
You gotta be salty after that, because he
He hadn't won the previous round.
The answer lies in the heart of scrub quotes. If you look at these comments, there's
Take
an
a top tier,
underlying
Sanford.
theme that's repeated over and over again. Fairness. Sense of fair play has been demonstrated by primates in an experiment involving two capuchin monkeys in cages next to each other. After being completely fine eating cucumbers, the monkey on the left sees the other one getting the more delicious grape for doing the same task.
C gives a rock to us now. Gets again cucumber.
The result is primal rage. This inspired similar experiments like the one with wolves pressing a buzzer to get food. According to the researcher, when the inequity was greatest, they stopped working. I think he was so frustrated he broke the apparatus. The wolf literally rage quit and broke his controller. These parallels to human behavior might seem kind of funny, but the experiments were designed to put the animals in an actual unfair situation. In fighting games, people get into situations that seem unfair, but it's usually because they're lacking certain knowledge or skill. For example, if you don't know how to block in Street Fighter, it's simply impossible to escape this. Because no amount of button mashing will change this situation, Salty Guy might be compelled to say,
My buttons don't work.
if he learns his buttons work fine, he might accuse his opponent of playing dishonorably.
That move is broken.
I like to call this the Scrub Lord's Prayer, which goes like this. My controls weren't working, and if they were, you were playing dishonorably, and if you weren't, you were playing without skill. And if you were, it's
not fun to play that way.
And if it is, then you only care about winning. We know all of this is nonsense because Guy just doesn't know how to block. Of course, it's easy to roll your eyes here because it's so patently obvious his salt is talking, but people can also say these things at higher levels of play. Blocking a sweep might be obvious to most of you, but not as many will understand why Ryu is able to hit Sagat here when his foot doesn't even come close to him. Normally this attack will whiff crouching opponents because his kick is too high. Makes sense. But if you block an attack standing and crouch right afterwards, there's a brief moment where this game treats you like a standing opponent even when you're visibly crouching. This is how Ryu is able to hit Sagat even when it looks like he's kicking the air. For players learning about this for the first time, it can understandably seem like an unfair exploitation of a glitchy game engine.
You're just exploiting a bug.
But for players who have seen this 100 times, it's just called fuzzy guard break, and it's an extra option that gives the game a pinch more depth without breaking it.
Dashing under.
Even on Cammy.
This is why people say get good. Things seem unfair until you find a good way to beat it. But maybe all this get good talk sounds elitist. Is it possible that your complaint can be legitimate and not just a result of salt?
Maybe.
Seth Killian had made the point that a win button for each player in a fighting game would actually be cheap. What's instructive about this thought experiment is that it reveals that the Scrub Lord's prayer would mostly be correct in this case. Using the win button is dishonorable, takes no skill, isn't fun to play, and shows that the user truly only cares about winning. But notice that the game is still completely fair because both players have a win button, but also notice how this new win button is incredibly unfair for people who have learned how to play the game.
This win button really de-emphasizes footsies.
Get good, Scrub.
How can something be so fair and unfair at the same time? is because fairness can be interpreted in 3 very distinct, if not opposing ways. The first is called sameness, which is the idea that something should either apply to everyone or apply to no one. We like sameness when it's there to start competitors on the same footing. Every player must win the same number of rounds to win a game, be able to choose the same character, and have access to the same buttons, even if it is a win button. We don't like sameness if it starts to hurt our individuality too much, for example, being forced to choose the same character. Kurt Vonnegut wrote a dystopian satire called Harrison Bergeron that described a society where everyone was forced to be the same. Smart people had to wear noise radios to distract their thoughts, the strong had to wear weights, and the beautiful had to be masked. Kurt Vonnegut probably preferred buffs over nerfs. The second concept of fairness is called deservedness. It's the idea that if you succeed through hard work, skill, creativity, or cunning, you deserve all that you earn, a kind of individual freedom. If you lab the game so much that you find an unorthodox strategy, a weird glitch, a deceptive hitbox, or an infinite hit combo, you see it as a potential tool or a thing to watch out for rather than calling the authorities. This Wild West mentality came from a time when games were very rarely patched and making complaints involved writing and sending an actual letter with a stamp you had to buy. The third type of fairness is need, which is the idea that the ones that are worse off should be given some sort of aid, sometimes at the expense of the well-off. You might have heard this referred to as social justice. This includes things like comeback mechanics, balance patches, damage scaling, and the infinite prevention system in Skullgirls that make sure you can't balance patches referred to as social justice. This includes things like comeback mechanics, balance patches.
Fucking Rashid's arm fucking falling off. I don't have the context for this. Does anybody know what that is? What is... Oh, fuck. Not a clue. The chop move? His hitbox? His hit... They cut his arms off. Okay, so they chopped his hitbox off. Okay.
Patches, damage scaling, and the infinite prevention system in Skullgirls that make sure you can't loop a combo forever. These regulations are needed to make sure the game doesn't break and remain competitively viable, but of course, that can be pretty subjective.
Is he dead? Oh my god, he is gone! It's gonna...
The reason why Street Fighter 2's stun mechanic caused so much salt was because it violated the concept of need so badly. You're already doing bad because your opponent is constantly hitting you, but then the game says, because you did so bad, now you don't get to move or defend yourself. Now watch as you get your ass beat more. This sort of laissez-faire rich gets richer mechanic felt so unjust, local arcades made arcane rules where you were not allowed to hit anyone who was stunned, basically saying, sorry, but we don't play like that here. Made-up rules in arcades even happened in the old-school Korean Tekken scene, home of some of the best players in the world.
짠손 짠발이라든가 뭐 이런 기술들이 있어요. 그런 것들이랑 이제 쇼풍을 앉아서 기성화포로 때린다든가 이런 게 하면은 약간 노매너나
bad manners,
이런
man.
게 있었다고 하더라고요.
Don't throw out
제가 할 때는
lows.
이제 좀 그런 것들이 점차 누그러지고 있을 때, 근데도 하면 약간 눈치 보이는.
But making your own personal...
I think that's fucking fascinating. In the West, throws was just the be-all, end-all of cheapness. But in Korea, it was low attacks. Isn't that fucking crazy?
Rules to an existing game like this is like appointing yourself as Grand Chancellor of the game's developers and its community, but only having a jurisdiction limited to the handful of people who don't want to waste time arguing with you. If you want real change, you have to let the developer know. Thanks to social media, everyone with a smartphone can complain about anything to anyone, and because games are so often patched these days, it can have a real influence. It's no wonder the designers of Tekken felt they had to do this.
Is there anything you want to tell the Tekken community that's tuning in? I guess this is all he wants to say.
But for game designers, complaining about existing games kind of becomes your job. The very same salt that came from the stun mechanic has been converted into one of the most iconic features in gaming history.
One of the things about Street Fighter that annoyed me and I loved was when you get the other guy dizzy. That was such a bad feeling, and it was such a good feeling when you're the guy who's attacking him. I want to have that good feeling, but I don't want to give the other guy the bad feeling. So we moved the dizzy to the end of the fight.
That is fascinating, actually. That's why fatalities
game designers, salt
are
can
like
be a
that.
driver of innovation. One of the most salt-inducing moves back in the day was also one of the most basic, throws in Street Fighter 2. Once referred to as a dark art, Throws had been a zero-sum winner-take-all move where the first person to press the button at close range would throw their opponent for a ton of damage and excellent positioning. Players that understood its instant activation and deceptive range would be able to toss around their opponents like ragdolls, and any OG from the arcade
I want you to
days
watch
can
that
range
again. I want you to watch how fucked
damage and
a fucking throw in fucking Street Fighter 2 is. Like, let's get that on slow mode.
excellent positioning.
Like, look at this. Look at that. Look at that. That's why people said throws were cheap. Also, hey Susie, how you doing? That's why people used to get so fucking mad about throws. Cause they kind of were bullshit.
And any OG from the arcade days can tell you about the fights that broke out because of it. So when Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo came around, they introduced throw teching, where if you managed to input throw within 13 frames after your opponent did it, you would not only take half the damage, but literally land on your feet. This is the game lowering your salt levels by throwing you a bone and rewarding you for being close. Fast forward to modern fighting games, and now throw teching actually cancels the throw with no one getting hurt at all. And depending on the game, one of the players might be rewarded with a slight positional advantage. The thing to note here is that even the saltiest guy swimming in the Dead Sea while eating Dutch licorice is not going to complain about losing a slight positional advantage. This feels fair because it doesn't terribly violate any of the three concepts of fairness, and it might be why throw breaks have survived for so long. No one got salty enough to complain about it. Your modern fighting game and games in general are a culmination of innovations from past games to assure that the needs of the ever-increasing player base are met. But long gone are the days of ruthless and punishing game designs with—
Hey, I want to point out, this actually answers, whose question was that earlier? Or way earlier, at the very beginning of the stream, about how, Gustav, the way, like, how do fighting games innovate? Like, this is a good example. Like, fighting games feel a lot fucking fairer now.
Ever-increasing player base are met. But long gone are the days of ruthless and punishing game designs with zero-sum gameplay that indiscriminately rewards one player and dumps all the salt onto the other. Who would want to go back to such a regressive time? Let me know in the comments the saltiest thing you've ever— Hey Corey, what's up? Ah, nothing. I was just in the middle of recording and you kind of messed me up, but I'm just kidding. It's fine. What's up? Oh yeah? What's it called? Okay. Really? So apparently, in the dark trenches of the FGC, there's a competitive scene out there that plays one of the cruelest and most sadistic fighting games ever made. It was never released outside of Japan, and rumor has it that people who played the game suffered from hypernatremia, making it literally toxic. Released in 1994, the game is called Bishoujo Senshi Sailor Moon S. Yo.
Oh, that was a dirty press up. Ooh. Oh my god. Oh my god, it did like 50%.
Fair. As you can see, these people make a mockery of fairness. This game has unbreakable throws, no damage scaling, invincible DPs with no accountability, dash canceling from any normal, guard canceling into any special, unlimited supers when low on health, and a fireball that does more damage on block than on hit, likely due to a programming error. Ever thought a character's dash was too good? Sailor Uranus thinks it sucks. Do you even command grab, she says.
Look at this.
This person, he needs to get in.
Oh, no,
Look at this.
This is definitely bad. He doesn't have a health.
But he might get it.
Oh!
He's going for another one. I'm telling you.
He is. Oh!
And do you know why Sailor Mars is laughing here? It's because the company that can nerf her chip damage is dead.
10 seconds.
This is the resulting anarchy that forms when there's no one to listen to what the zoning is cheating guy has to say. Sailor Moon S is the pre-John McCain MMA of fighting games. Adapt or get your eyes gouged out. It's amazing how the Toronto Sailor Moon community can enjoy such unregulated waifu cockfighting. It's almost as if they're part of a culture that celebrates salt as a driver of adaptation instead of a means to strong-arm game developers into patching out anything that seems remotely good. It's 2018. Get with the times already.
You're still pissed off about Mike Ross.
Damn right I am.
Yay! Also, Mike Ross is back, so yay! I like Mike Ross. Yeah, that is a great video. Core Gaming is one of my favorite, if not my favorite, YouTube channel. Gerald is able to, with incredible editing and really, really fantastic use of language, just perfectly explain things about fighting games, even to people who have no experience with fighting games at all. He's so good. Like he does a lot of incredible edits, like a lot of incredible edits, but like to
say, Sailor Moon S is the pre-John McCain MMA of fighting games. Adapt or get your eyes gouged out.
But like some of them are just absolutely like top tier edits, incredible. Just fantastic. Yeah, adapt or die. I was told to watch this about a lady being scared of a squirrel.
It's early evening, and I'm responding to a frantic call from a lady who has an uninvited squirrel trapped in her living room.
Okay, where are we going? Well, we're going here. My neighbours very kindly put the paper.
Yes, it's the British.
The room has no door, and in a panicky attempt to contain it, she's manufactured a rather unusual newspaper barricade.
It's the anti-squirrel door. High tech, very
Just gotta get the squirrel.
Should I go in and have a peek?
Yes, do. Yes, please do.
I am also rooting for the squirrel.
Blimey,
I'm
Moses,
sorry,
chairs.
I can't talk now. I know I was screaming the house down. Bye. It's behind the boxes.
Okay, come on, Switch Watch. Can we do this with utter professionalism? He's a cross squirrel. Yeah. All right, Squidge. All right,
It's just a squirrel.
Okay, first miss. Where's he gone now? Oh, it's going to be one of those, which should be so easy.
It's just a squirrel.
They travel at the speed of light, these things. They're so quick.
That's why I wasn't sure.
Yeah, tuck your pants in your socks, dude.
I would have got in there if the cameraman hadn't been in the way.
Yeah, get out of the way, cameraman.
There's a cat. I'll shut the cats in. Oh, what's that weird noise?
That's a cross squirrel.
Oh dear.
Okay, look at that. That was utter professionalism. Now, don't bite me, little squeak. I'm going to ask the cameraman to pass me my gloves. I don't really want to get bitten.
Why would you not be wearing the gloves already, bro? I did not know a squirrel could growl.
It's a part of valor, so I say thank you, young Jim. Right, little Squidge, we'll put a glove on, because I really don't want those sharp teeth in my fingers. Right, come on, Squidge. I'm a very cross squirrel. Right, we're going to take him out just like this. Yeah, stop squeaking.
Oh, he's so mad!
Have you got your back door open? I'll walk him straight down into the garden.
I have not heard what a rabbit sounds like. Apparently rabbits scream like murder.
Right. You let him go.
Yeah, just go out in the back. Come on, man.
Here and find your way home. Right? How you doing? How you doing? You go up there.
Watch him attack him.
Go on then, you're free. Go on. Bring on in. Now don't go back indoors. That's.
Oh my fucking god.
Oh, he's coming out again. Look. Had second thoughts. Be the first time a squirrel's gone back in. Squirrel, why don't you go? It's very reluctant.
Oh, there he goes. I just saw him.
It's very reluctant to go up. It's really quite strange.
Close the door.
Sorry, Squish.
Probably wants some cat food.
Close the door.
This has gone through the bottom. I think he's vanished. Oh, yeah, there's big holes under the fence here. He's gone.
Yay!
Shut your door. Shut your window.
Excellent. Squirrel defeated.
Hey guys, just making a quick video here. I get a lot of comments that say Oh, your accent disappears when you start singing and stuff like that. Oh, I didn't realise you were Scottish because it doesn't sound it when you sing. The reason why I do that is because I don't think the singing voice sounds right with a Scottish accent. Some bands manage to pull it off quite well. Because I come from a small village outside of Glasgow and I have quite a lot of slang in my talk, I don't think it would sound too nice.
Headphone warning?
I've got
Okay.
the guitar here just for a little demonstration. I'm going to play, well, I don't really know the chords to Wonderwall, believe it or not. This is in a different tuning, but I'm just going to do my own version of Wonderwall, but with the Scottish accent.
Okay. That wasn't Wonderwall. Or was it?
What was that? What's up? That sound, you didn't hear that? It sounded like an explosion. No, I didn't hear it. That! Oh, that! That's just one of those super people fighting crime or something. You know how it go. I don't know. What do you mean? That sounds close. It's not. It's not close. Robert, that sounds close. It ain't. Just loud, don't trip. How can you tell? Cause they always fighting somebody out there, man. It's normal. It's normal? This is a hazard. Robert, that's close. It ain't. Look, I've been here for like 2 years, man. Relax. I've been here. I've been here, man. I've been here. How much do you pay for rent here? Like $18 a month? Why? Robert, they got my car. No, they don't. Robert, they got. Oh! You trying to get on the game?
Yeah, people point out like you should like Gotham City. You could get like a fucking like 4-bedroom walk up at the fucking penthouse on a nice building for like fucking $200 a month in Gotham City, right? Like, like fucking who the fuck would move to Gotham City?
Pepperoni has a birthing day. Pepperoni has a birthing day. Pepperoni has a birthing day. Happy birthday, beautiful babe.
Oh, it's a lizard.
Look, I made you all your favorite foods. I made it up real pretty. It's got beef and raspberries, blackberries, bananas, and yams, and it's all on turnip greens because it looks pretty.
Why is the dog not eating?
Happy birthday, my fatty ghoul. Pepperoni was
Oh,
born
yeah.
July 3rd. It was in the afternoon, and it's the afternoon. And
Oh, he's
that's
cute.
my
I
ghoul.
love him.
That's my ghoul eating a dinner.
I want to kiss him.
That's a little birthday Dumpleton's dog.
I want to kiss the dog.
Dumpleton's dog is a macaroni. Little tappy taps on the little dog.
Oh, he's cute.
Hey there, Pep, waking up some yams.
All right, that's enough.
It's mashed.
Modern messaging methods like texting and emailing can never compare to good old-fashioned yelling at the husband calling contest.
Judges, are you ready? Okay.
Is this fake? No, this is not fake.
I don't want to be late. I don't want to be late to the great Iowa State Fair. Bob, hurry, hurry. Bob, Robert, Dean. That's it. I'm going by myself.
No, not that. Oh, that's the worst.
I have been here probably 35 to 40 years at Pioneer Hall.
Yoo-hoo, yoo-hoo, key, key, yoo-hoo, cuckoo, cuckoo. The clock says dinner time.
They say white people don't have any
I
culture.
won many times, but lots of times I came in second or third too.
Unless you want to make the bed, you better get
It started because I wanted a ribbon. In calling, I've gotten as high as second in husband calling, and then I've gotten way down the food chain too. It just depends on what the judges are looking for, because they basically pick them at random from the audience every year, so you never know what you're going to get.
Would you like to hear me call my husband? What am I supposed to call him? You low down Roger Daryl Eichelberg, you low down stinky, manure covered, farmer tanned. Oh, I'm supposed to call him for dinner. Daryl! Daryl, dinner's ready. Daryl! Daryl, Daryl, Bomero, Banana, Fanta, Fofero, me, my, Momero.
That's good. I like that.
It's hard to judge. You have, three things that you have to judge, and your first impression, your last impression, and the presentation.
Hey, maybe this is because I talk all the time, and maybe this is because, Paige has like voice training, and I'm a loud guy. I feel like these people are like I'm talking right now at the volume these women are yelling into the microphone. Right? I feel like Paige and I could hit like 4 times the volume on that.
And your first impression just about knocks you out of your seat, and your last impression is kind of the same as your first impression. So I kind of went by, can I understand what they're saying? How would I know what you want when you're calling me?
Roy? Can you hear me? You get yourself in here right now. Come on. You know you're going to be late again, and you know that I want to get there on time. Roy?
Oh yeah.
Roy.
Oh yeah. Yeah, Grandma's got it.
Started, my husband
Oh,
said,
absolutely.
"You're not going to do that, Bonnie. You're not.
Oh yeah.
Please don't do it."
Easy
I'm
win.
going to do it.
Easy
I
win.
defied him and I won first.
Easy
so
win.
After that, he's gun hole for me.
Old people have value. I know we make fun of the boomers and all that, and a lot of them are complete fucking pieces of shit, but they have some skills.
I firmly believe Birdie is like the best character online. Not Bison. It depends on the connection quality. I think they're both pretty good. Brutus was here earlier, and that reminded me of his fucking tweet about grapplers and about how they make 2 right reads and win the round after getting hit 9 times, and the fucking thing is like, my brain is on another level right now.
Yeah, bro.
I'm making the sick ass. I was like, Jesus Christ. Fucking grappler players, man. You motherfuckers, you get 2 wrong, you get 2 right reads, and you just think you're a fucking genius.
Yeah, I'm a genius.
You hit a grappler. Chun-Li will hit a grappler with 7 standing fierces, and then they jump in on one of them, and they get an SPD, and then they win the round, and they're like, I'm so fucking smart.
Yeah, I am. I'm fucking smart as
fucking
shit.
Grappling playing bitches. God damn it. You think you're so smart.
I
You're like,
am.
Oh, did you see my read?
Oh, it's such a good read, dude.
Yeah, I saw your read. You got hit 8 times in the face with standing fierce. What was the read those 8 times?
I was
And you're
building
like,
up
no.
confidence.
When I knew they were going to jump back, so I air SPD'd. I'm
Hell
like,
yeah.
Oh, you mean when you air SPD'd earlier and it missed, and then you did it now and it hits? What's the percentage you got to hit here for your reads to be set?
I won the round.
They're like, I made the right read and it got like 40%. Oh, I made the wrong read and took 5%. Okay.
Yeah.
All grappler players, that's all they do. They're like, oh, I'm such a fucking genius.
He's completely right. We're geniuses.
When I play a grappler, I do the same shit. I'm like, I'm so smart. And they're
I'm
like,
so smart.
They're like, what do you mean, dude? I play Mika. I play Mika for fun. And they get hit by forward fierce like 3 times, and then I command throw them. I'm like, I'm so smart. And they're like, I'm dead. Like, what, I gotta guess, bitch. I'm like, well, yeah, but I'm so smart. That's how it works. When you play a grappler, you have to have that mindset.
So
Otherwise
smart. So smart.
In fighting games, performing the Daigo parry...
I put this in because you all need to know.
In fighting games, performing the Daigo parry or certain combos requires precise timing. Press an input a moment too early or too late, and you fail your combo and maybe die because of it. It's not too unlike learning a song on a musical instrument. Now imagine how hard it would be to play a song you practiced if your guitar did this. What the hell? Not only that, but sometimes the note comes out really late, or sometimes
MaxZ71 says, can we learn how to do a fucking infinite? Maybe.
Sometimes a little late. It's random. This is what it's like to play fighting games online with delay-based netcode. When you press a button, there's a delay because the game waits for the other side to receive your input before showing the move on both screens. But this is terrible to play in unless the delay between both players is very short, but not everyone has super good internet connections, and not everyone lives in the same region. If everyone could play offline together, lag wouldn't be a problem, but we live in a world where arcades die and viruses live, so netplay matters a lot. Sadly, there's no way to remove the delay between two distant online connections, but Tony Cannon discovered a way to make it so your move appears immediately, even before it reaches your opponent.
I started working on this around in like late 2005, early 2006, and it was because all the games that were coming out for the consoles just had really bad delay-based netcode.
What's insane about this technology is that it's achieved by predicting the future and time traveling. Seriously.
2015? You mean we're in the future?
Let's say there's 45 milliseconds of delay between you and your opponent. If the character you control has no lag and your move comes out before the input reaches your opponent, what does your opponent see? If you kick and your opponent's side sees it 45 milliseconds later, both sides are now 45 milliseconds out of sync, which is no good. But there is a way to get it in sync. When your opponent's side receives your input, it can just skip the first 45 milliseconds of your kick animation. You might be thinking this could look weird or choppy, but at full speed, it's hard to tell. It's like when everyone starts singing Happy Birthday, but you join in a little late. You skip the first words of the song so you'll be in sync, and no one will notice. But if your opponent receives all your actions 45 milliseconds late, what do you look like to them in the meantime? In our kick example, you were shown to be just standing there for 45 milliseconds before kicking. Why did their side think you were just standing there? Because it was its best guess. It was a wrong guess, but it was reasonable considering you were standing there previously. At any given moment, each side is trying to predict what the opponent is currently doing based on the previously received input. And what's crazy is, most of the time it's correct. This is because it doesn't take a fortune teller to predict things one frame into the future.
I'm just going to assume
there's a much better explanation coming up.
The thing you do next, like forever. Oh, you were holding back to block? I'm going to assume you're still holding back to block.
Can you guess what my sleeping cats will do in the next frame? If you guess sleep, then you might just be a
that's rollback netcode. That was it. That is rollback netcode. Right there.
Forever. Oh, you were holding back to block? I'm going to assume you're still holding back to block.
Can you guess what my sleeping cats will do in the next frame? If you guess sleep, then you might just be a precog. Obviously, you knew the answer because you saw what they were doing previously. But just like a precog, predictions can be wrong. To clearly show what happens with incorrect predictions, let's just say there's a huge 500 millisecond delay with your opponent. If your opponent is walking forward, your side will correctly predict their position because there's only one direction to predict: forward. But if they suddenly do something different like jump, your side will still think they're walking because it didn't get the memo yet. But the moment your side receives the news that your opponent jumped 500 milliseconds ago, it will instantly roll them back to your opponent's correct position, which is in midair at this point. Hence, rollback netcode. Remember, this was an extreme case. With normal amounts of delay, the amount of rollback would be practically unnoticeable. Rollback netcode works because when the predictions are correct, things are in sync, and when it's not, it gets corrected before anyone notices. Sometimes huge lag spikes can go unnoticed if all the predictions are correct in that time, and you might be surprised just how often the predictions are correct.
Oh, I would love some tea, darling. Thank you, Peach Saliva. I love you.
Do people move the controller? How many inputs are there? There's probably no more than like 5 per second. That's a lot, 5 inputs per second. So that means if there's 60 frames per second, that means you're right more than 90% of the time.
But sometimes you can notice if the game has moments of drastic and instantaneous changes, for example, KOs in Third Strike. The KO pops up and the screen freezes right on the final blow,
Yeah, so he's gonna go into this, but like Third Strike Online Edition had really great netcode, except for this one thing was really bad.
So if the game predicts someone got knocked out, but they actually blocked the hit, you can get a "you win, just kidding" moment. This isn't a big problem in Super Turbo because the final blow just slows down the screen.
Yeah, don't do large disruptive VFX or screen text in the first 2 or 3 frames, however long you expect your rollback to be. The other is like, don't design moves that have very large displacement on the first or second frame.
Developing the game with rollback netcode in mind will minimize these glitchy moments, but weirdness will happen regardless if network delay is too large and the game has to roll back to things that happened
Like, that's
too
crazy.
far in the past.
What the f was that?
But another way to minimize how far you need to roll back is by delaying everyone's inputs on purpose. If you're late to a party, but they postponed the time, you will be less late or even early. The more you delay everyone's inputs, the shorter the rollback time. But of course, more delay means your character feels laggier. Rollback netcode is usually combined with delay netcode to strike a balance between glitchiness and lag. But there is one more potential problem called Rift. Let's say your opponent's console overheats and it slows down their game during an online match. This means their inputs will get to you really late, causing massive rollback glitches on your side, while your inputs will get to them ahead of schedule, making their side play perfectly. This results in one-sided rollback. The netcode must correct the rift to make sure both players have a fair fight.
So this can happen with everything, but in Street Fighter V, it's constant.
It's like, I'm on frame 10, you're on frame 14. We should probably both be on frame 12, so the rollbacks are the same distance.
If rollback netcode sounds more complicated to implement than delay-based, it's because it is.
This is all one tick, right? If we're doing our job right, this tick.
Hold up a sec. RC Ann says, in a few years, will players get so used to rollback they complain about it due to not knowing the bad times? Complain about, like, the way rollback works, or, like, anything with delay? Because, like, players are all, like, here's the thing. They're good rollback, like in Street Fighter 6, there's nothing to complain about. It works. So
delay-based, it's because it is.
This is all one tick, right? If we're doing our job right, this takes 16.66 milliseconds and no more.
But if done correctly, it will allow more people to have more playable matches online. I've had excellent games in Punch Planet playing from Korea to California because it uses GGPO, the rollback netcode for fighting games invented by Tony Cannon. He's even made it free to use under the MIT license, and the technology is used in many games already, including old-school arcade games played through Fightcade. Rollback technology is used in AAA fighting games as well, and even Melee has rollback now. If you like fighting games and hate lag, please share this video. For more info on this topic, check out this article by Infill and this video by Hold Back the Block. This was Gerald from Corey Gaming. Thanks for watching.
Thanks,
this video
Gerald.
was sponsored by ExpressVPN, which is literally the VPN I was using before they approached me.
Have you watched the video explaining why MK's animations are bad? Do you mean every video of a Mortal Kombat game that's ever existed?
There's some Scottish people that kind of say purple burger alarm, purple burger alarm, purple burglar alarm, purple burglar alarm, purple burglar alarm, burglar, purple burglar,
Kidding. Ah, the Scots! They talk funny!
Please unblock me. I'm sorry I tagged you in a spoken word mumble rap about sacrificing you to the devil. I know your grandma sees your Facebook. Please, kitten, there's a darkness inside me. The plot of Sonic Adventure 2 really effed me up. Some might call me twisted. Honestly, I scare myself.
Blame it on the beep. Blame it on censored. See you guys next time.
Blame it on the blues.
Blame it on the fucking yellows. I'll never forget that shit.
fucking.
That was not a race joke. Okay, wait. Hold.
Why? 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 Oh. Oh. Oh no. Oh shit. Okay. Oh fuck. Oh Jesus Lord. Okay.
Hope you like your silver medal. I'm winning this race. See ya at the finish line. You might touch the finish line, but you've never touched a woman. You're right. I haven't lost my virginity. Huh? Because I never lose. Whoa! Oh, see you later, sex haver.
Oh man, that's so good. Oh, that's so good. Oh fuck. Oh.
Well, if I can't take his trophy, then I'll have to take his virginity.
Yo, what up, guys? Lanky Kong here with another reaction video.
Hey, it's Joel.
We got a special one today. It's the DK rap. They just finished this. I haven't heard it yet. I'm excited to listen with you guys. Here we go. Here we go.
Oh no.
We shot this video a couple months ago. It's been a long time coming. We didn't have the song done at the time, but they needed it was a scheduling thing. Oh, Donkey Kong! He's the best. I love him. A leader. He is a leader. He whips us into shape. We would be nothing without Donkey Kong. That's for sure.
Oh
she does
no.
have style. She's so
This art style
stylish.
creeps you out? You mean the Joel Haver thing or the
not?
N64?
She's one cool Kong. That's awesome. Can I just say I'm so happy with how positive this is. It's just everyone's best traits put.
Yeah, that is great, Joel. And I like the fact that you're pausing the video, and so that lets me pause the video, and it gets really weird when we both do that. And now you're muted for some reason.
Booster we needed. It's really beautiful. Oh, I think I'm next.
No style. He has no grace.
Yeah, a little different than what I was told it was gonna be, but you know, maybe it comes around.
This Kong has a funny face.
What do you mean you can't change it? What do you mean the game's already out? No, it was not self-deprecating. It was just me deprecating. You just made fun of me. You didn't make fun of yourself. You're bigger, faster, and stronger. What about me? You guys told me to act goofy for the video. I didn't know you were gonna act like that's my thing. I'm a normal guy. I do IT work. Why was everyone else like just great and Lanky Kong sucks ass? Oh, and by the way, I don't know if you knew this, but if anyone shoots anyone, it's gonna hurt. That doesn't make you special. That's just normal. That's just how shooting people works.
Grapes, melons, oranges, and coconut shells. Oh yeah, walnuts, peanuts, pineapple smells. Grapes, melons, oranges, and coconut.
Oh my god. That's so stupid. Okay, so I don't know how to explain this to you, but that song is like, if I hear that song now, I think of fucking Kratos. Like, I don't know what was happening with the memosphere around fucking God of War. There were like 400 million fucking TikTok videos of Kratos doing shit to the fucking that song and jumping off shit. It was fucking weird. Yeah, the memosphere. You know what I'm talking about. You know exactly what I'm talking about. Oh, yeah! 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 Get excited!
My husband is having an affair with your wife. I don't think we should talk about it. There's your pet. Kill them.
Oh, man. Oh, God. Oh, man. Oh, God. Oh, man. Oh, God. Oh, man. Oh, God. Oh, man. Oh, God.
Oh, cool. This show was awesome. Tony J's in this show. He plays the owl. There he is. There's Tony J. So the owl was named Virgil, but I don't remember what the big guy's name was. Norman, was it?
While laying in her bed, the cracks overhead more and more looked like a camel. Today's a rainy day and I can't go out and play. Would you take me for a ride, camel? Said the camel crack, climb upon my back. And right through the wall they did go. When out they came again, they were standing by Crack Hen. Hello to you, Miss Hen, meet my friend. Then went the three to wall where Crack Monkey lived, close by the attic door. Good day, good day, good day, I'm glad you came my way. And how has everybody been? We've all been fine. Meet a new friend of mine. She has come to meet crack creatures here. And this is all of you? Yes, now that you're here too. But perhaps not so, said Monkey Crack. At night behind the door, I think I've heard one more. Then let us all go make a new crack friend. So they happily skipped into where they'd never been, and in corner found a giant crack. Who are you, they said. The crack just growled instead and made himself look very big and mean. He said, I am CrackMaster. But just then the wall plaster began to crumble to the floor, and where the monster stood were only beams of wood. He destroyed himself trying to be mean. Went each creature to his wall, and each knowing all was well where each crack lived. Camel, thank you for the ride. The rain has stopped outside. We'll go and see the cracks again someday.
Go long, Eddie! Go long! Further! Further! Life sure was crazy growing up in Brooklyn. We had some real characters in my neighborhood, like Frank the Mailman.
Hey, Mark, the ants for your ant farm came today.
And my friend Lonnie, that knucklehead.
Yo, Marky, let's play some b-ball.
I know why someone sent me this.
That's what we called it, b-ball. And my grandma, boy, was she something else.
Hey, Marky, don't forget to take your cod liver oil.
Great job. God, what a piece of self-indulgent crap. All the characters sounded exactly the same.
Great show, Mark. Yeah, you really captured me perfectly. Me too, Marky. You are so talented.
7 dwarfs. But let Walt Disney tell you about them himself.
Dwarfs' names fit their personalities. This pompous-looking individual is Doc, the self-appointed leader of the group.
I love this clip.
This little fellow is bashful. He's secretly in love with Snow White. This funny face is Sneezy. He has hay fever. And old droopy eyes is called Sleepy. And Happy here with the beaming smile. And old Sourpuss here is Grumpy, the woman hater.
Oh, I love it. Oh, I love it. He hates women. Oh, he hates women. That's true. All right. What's this? Huh? Hmm?
All have things that tick us off in life. For example, bullies, drugs, and hard to control children. I can ignore all of these things. However, there's one thing that's been bothering me that I can't ignore. I'm talking about these users my age and up showing their complete lack of thoughtfulness when reviewing a video game. Oh my god. It's like someone pursuing a PhD but only reads comic books.
Oh my
god. There
god.
are 3 things that I can't stand. First of all, a few of them don't use a script. I wonder if they have written down any notes at all. Secondly, many of them don't edit the footage in the videos. It's basically footage that occurs as if you turned on the video game console and started to play from start to finish. And the third one is the worst of the worst. I'm sure some folks will object to this complaint. The worst part about these guys is repeated profanity and vulgar actions.
Fuck!
Thought so. But let me explain. When you don't script yourself, you sound boring with a lot of uhs, ums, and many pauses. To be more specific, how would you...
You're completely right, guy. There's absolutely no one in their entire professional career could possibly learn how to talk consistently and professionally for long periods of time without using or blah or shit or fuck. Now, granted, this does lead to some people going, oh, fuck, my brain bad. Oh, I shit myself. But I mean, you know, no one's perfect.
Like it if a radio or TV announcer started telling a story and had no idea how he or she would tell it. With all the stammering...
Okay, I feel like you guys sent me this to fuck with me. Specifically. Come on. Come on, though. Come on.
And time wasting, wouldn't it make you want to change the channel? We usually only get to see the first few levels of the game you're reviewing. That doesn't always show us the troubled points you're describing. Sometimes people watching would want to see the later levels. I certainly would. I don't want to see someone continuously failing to pass a stage or level and having to start over. The third problem, profanity and disgraceful actions, is the #1 reason why most game reviewers are hard to enjoy. This problem raises a big question. Do you absolutely think it is necessary to spew out dirty language and have it bounce off a viewer's eardrums?
Yeah, motherfucker.
I mean, think about it for a minute or two.
Swearing feels good.
Do you want to know why dirty language is a huge deal? It's mostly because of 2 important points. The first point is, the inappropriate words being launched out of your oral cavity like bullets just make you sound quite unintelligent and not even funny in the slightest.
Alright, I'm done. Everybody I know that's smart swears all the time. That's stupid. We're gonna move on. Also, this isn't quite as cringe as the Sonic one. It's not doing it for me. Yay!
Unlimited breadsticks.
Wait, that's wrong.
Unlimited breadsticks. 2. Unlimited breadsticks. Unlimited breadsticks. Survivor. Unlimited breadsticks.
That, so far, so good. Absolutely incredible.
Hey, babe.
Ah!
What's up?
Hey, girl, how you doing?
Okay. What's going on? Mwah.
I'm hearing about breadsticks.
What's going on with breadsticks?
They're unlimited.
You never been to the Olive Garden?
No, that's not what it is. Somebody's reading the phrase unlimited breadsticks in the style of every Resident Evil title screen.
I don't understand.
I'm working hard, trust me.
Oh, that's cool.
Which one is pregnant? Fuck you!
Sometimes I like to walk over to Pat and like rub his tummy and be like, "Oh my god, I can feel him kicking." He doesn't like it.
I don't like it.
He doesn't like it so much. Hey, you would not believe what I'm dealing with.
What's that?
Oh, just a paper trail snafu that I did everything right with.
Fun.
It's unbelievable.
We'll be right back. Excuse me.
Doesn't. Why?
Wow. Oh, it does work. We're currently joined by Peach Saliva, who lost my Bussy authentication certificate.
Sorry.
I am no longer Bussy certified.
I'm very sorry.
Sorry, guys. Hey, Paige, what's your best husband call? We watched the husband call.
Oh, you watched the husband call? Let me think. Okay, well, I don't want to, like, frighten neighbors, but let me think. Hey! Hey, Pat! Get your fucking ass inside! I swear to fucking God! Like that.
Yeah. Yours would be about 5 times louder than that.
Oh, yeah. I just don't want to freak out the neighbors.
Yeah. You'd probably use, like, my whole name.
Oh, yeah.
Which is scary.
Patrick, Jose, Mona Lisa.
Patrick, Jose, Canseco, Wave.
Consuela.
Abuela. I am everyone's abuela. All right, let's get these bread.
I feel like you're more of. Well,
let's get these breadsticks certified, honey. Paige's gonna hang out for a bit.
Is that okay? Sorry, I just like.
It's not okay.
I'm stressed out, and I don't want to be alone, but I don't want to force him to stop. So I'm just like.
It's cool, man.
Sorry.
It broke the video.
Sorry.
Unlimited breadsticks. Unlimited breadsticks. 2. Unlimited breadsticks. Unlimited breadsticks. Survivor. Unlimited breadsticks. Unlimited breadsticks.
Oh, man. That's super right.
Unlimited breadsticks. Unlimited breadsticks. 0. Unlimited breadsticks. Outbreak. Unlimited breadsticks. Outbreak. File 2. Unlimited breadsticks. 4.
Yeah.
Unlimited breadsticks. DS.
Oh my god.
Unlimited breadsticks. The Umbrella Chronicles. Unlimited breadsticks. 5. Unlimited breadsticks. The Dark Side Chronicles. Unlimited breadsticks. The Mercenaries. 3D. Unlimited breadsticks. Revelations. Unlimited breadsticks. Unlimited breadsticks. 6. Unlimited breadsticks.
Oh my god.
Unlimited breadsticks. 2.
You can't have a rainbow without both.
That was really good.
Ryan, what are you?
Ryan, suck on both!
I see.
Melia, are you feeling okay?
I am fine. Ryan, however, I'm not so sure about.
Oh, I know this movie. It's the movie,
Rondell.
So this guy is, he was in Yakuza 7.
Okay.
He was the homeless guy, but he's also a big actor in Japan right now. He plays, this is a fucking a movie that includes like scenes where all the anime directors are hanging out in college.
Oh, Namba. He's the one in green, right?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
And he plays Hideaki Anno, as described by Hideaki Anno's friends in college.
Oh no.
なんだよ、ルパンだよ。ルパンをわざわざ見に来たのかよ。今日は宮崎さんの作画なんだよ。誰だよ、宮崎さんって。宮崎演出のルパンを大きな画面で見たいんだ。宮崎演出。これは宮崎演出。ギガント。これはギガント。飯食った？うるさい！なあなあ、一つ聞きたいんだけどさ。宮崎さんって誰？宮崎演出だな。だから誰なんだよ、宮崎って。知り合いなのかよ。知らないわけないだろ。宮崎駿だよ。カリオストの宮崎駿だよ。知り合いじゃないのになんでさん付けで呼ぶんだよ。手崎さんだってさん付けするだろ。そいつも知らん。明日のジョーの手崎さんだろう。高畑さんだって長浜さんだって富田さんだってさん付けするだろう。あ、最後の人イデオンの人だな。うん。あと高畑さんは赤毛な、長浜さんはダイモスとかコンブイとか。コンブイってなんだ。コンバトラー V に決まってるだろう。
Like,
He's a cutie patootie.
It says a lot that like these aren't like realistic interpretations, but apparently they are like what it felt like to be friends with Hideaki Anno.
Yeah.
Like there's one where they go out to a group date and like he's sitting across from like some cute girl. She's like, "What are you into?" And he's like, "Do you like Gundam?" She's like, "No." He's like, "I don't care then." Like he is just like he is the freak that you always thought the guy who made Evangelion was.
Right, okay.
Like there's no fucking denying it. Well, this is the last Core Gaming video I put in here, guys, but this will prepare you for next week. Cuz button mashing, it doesn't work. But it might work, but it doesn't.
Button mashing in a first-person shooter doesn't work because you just waste all your ammo before you got anywhere. It doesn't work in real-time strategy because you wouldn't even be able to select your starting units.
Commander, there are tutorial videos awaiting your review.
And mashing in a driving game would probably look like you were really drunk. It's obvious why it doesn't work in those games because random button mashing is the video game equivalent of violently flailing your limbs. That's why it kind of makes sense that people button mash in fighting games. Most people don't know how to fight in real life. Violent limb flailing might be a good strategy for beating your younger brother or sister, but everyone knows that this is far from martial arts mastery.
Have you seen people in your real life that don't know how to fight at all, get into a fight, and they close their eyes and tuck their chin and just start...
Yeah, it's hilarious.
Oh my fucking god, it's so funny. Oh man, it's the best. Oh, it's great.
It is understandable why people do this. When you have no choice but to fight, it's better to do something than to just stand there getting hit like a dummy. Game developers understand this, which is why they've taken measures to make button mashing do cool things. Mash punch to punch a lot, mash kick to kick a lot, mash L to do all this. Stuff like this can make limb flailing a bit more dangerous, but it won't make button mashing any more of a viable strategy against people who know what they're doing.
That kid was gonna beat Daigo by just mashing harder.
So what are these people doing that mashers are not? Why does button mashing not work against them? To find out, we have to go back to the beginning of a round.
Round one, fight!
In many forms of wrestling, the round starts up close, sometimes really close. In pistol dueling, which was an actual Olympic exhibition in 1908, the fight started from about 20 meters away. But in video game fighting, you can have a wrestler and a gunwoman in the same fight, allowing players to battle in all sorts of ranges. Guess who has the advantage at this range? And at this range. The fight ideally starts where neither person has a significant advantage, a situation where it's neutral for both fighters. If you're mashing when the round starts, you might get hit like this. Mashing randomly fails to consider which attacks have good reach. The side perspective in these games help you gauge distance so you can clearly see your positioning and attack ranges. Having a longer reach means there are ranges where you can hit them while they can't hit you. Why use a stubby jab at this range when you have Engine Blade? Another problem with constantly attacking is that when you start an attacking animation, you cannot block until it finishes. The longer the attack animation, the longer you're vulnerable to getting hit. Whiffing an attack and getting hit before you can block again is called a whiff punish.
Oh my goodness!
Fighting games loosely borrow this logic from real fighting. This whiff, then punish, is called a cross counter.
Yay!
Just like in any fighting sport, attacking carries risk. It's especially dangerous in games with long-range moves that start up quick, lead to good damage, and have long recovery animations when whiffing. The hard slash in the Samurai Showdown series is one of the most notorious examples of this. Whiffing it is
ill-advised.
Another problem with constantly attacking is that you often cannot attack and control your movement at the same time. And movement matters because your positioning determines if an attack will reach or not. While you can't move your head like this in most games, you can move your feet. When you form a strategy based on movement and striking ranges, you have what people like to call footsies.
The kick I'm doing is the most effective move for both range footsies.
But the movement doesn't necessarily have to be with your feet because video games have magical characters that can wheel, fly, unfly, or even hover because you happen to be a punching bag. One definition from the Street Fighter-based Footsies Handbook describes footsies as the mid-range ground-based aspect of fighting game strategy. And Hi-Fight has made an entire game around this concept called Footsie.
Senior Footsie. Oh,
this
no,
game
wait.
is so
Just
mid-range
footsies.
and
Not senior
ground-based that
footsies
there's
anymore.
no jumping, no projectiles, and no knockdowns. But what kind of strategy can you have with something so simple? Well, the first lesson of Chapter 1 in the Footsie's Handbook shows one of the most basic strategies. Walk into your opponent's striking range and immediately walk right out to bait them into whiffing an attack. Then whiff punish. Here it is at normal speed. The strategy is referenced so often because you see it across so many games.
Down forward ones and down forward twos inside, so that's all AK is doing right now, but oh, he can't whip!
There are countless strategies, but their effectiveness will differ from game to game. This might be why it's hard for people to agree on what footsies are, and why it's kind of turned into a buzzword. And this raises the question, if footsies are about movement and striking ranges, can't everything be considered footsies? Sure, but there are times when your amazing reach doesn't matter as much, like when you're up close and personal. No matter
Stop
what anyone
saying
says,
footsies
there
are
is
low
no law that
kicks. That was
requires
a
you to play
mistranslation.
footsies. Sometimes you just want to brawl, but you can't just walk up to a skilled fighter without getting hit. That's why most games let you do much more than walk. You can run, roll, dive kick, demon flip, homing teleport, dash, rush attack, or even do a homing dash attack. These things can help you quickly bypass the fighting at further ranges and get right up to your opponent's face. Playing this way is known as rushdown, or the more derogatory Unga Bunga.
Unga!
What the hell is Unga Bunga?
Unga Bunga!
When people are hurling their entire bodies at you,
Maximum
it can be
gorilla.
pretty dangerous. So, how the hell do you stop this insanity? Well, if you're good enough, you can try to hit them before they can get to you. For example, hitting someone out of the air is called an anti-air, but this requires precise timing. Just like swinging in a baseball game, you can't expect to be successful by mashing. Mistime it and get struck out, or in fighting, mistime it and get knocked out. This is one reason the Dragon Punch, aka Sheng Long, is such a good anti-air. It covers this whole area. But sometimes their rushdown will be too fast for your reactions, which means you might be face to face. Now finally, both of you are close enough to hug.
Yeah, hugging.
But up close, the fight becomes very different for reasons other than being able to grab each other. There's little room to move forward, and the reach of your attack is less important because any attack will reach. What matters more here is who will grab or strike the other person first, which is determined by attack speed, or more technically, the startup animation. Naturally, the move with the faster startup speed will beat out the slower ones, assuming the buttons are pressed at the same time. A reason why Fox's Shine is considered one of the best moves in Melee is because it starts up in one frame, aka instantly.
That blue light special, man.
And that jab that I called stubby earlier will beat out the engine blade up close because it's much faster. When you hit someone during their attack startup animation like this, it's called a counter hit. And depending on the move or game, the attacker might get rewarded with extra damage, more combo opportunities, or in Punch-Out, an instant knockout. So how do you know which attacks are fast?
Ironoki, you can play more Tekken when rollback gets added. Don't worry about that right now. Why can't I? Oh, there.
Than others, and by how much? You could eyeball it, but it gets really hard to tell when we're talking about moves with differences of a few frames. A frame is 1/60th of a second, which is the unit of time used to measure speed in fighting games. But thanks to cool people, there are frame data guides that show you the speed of each attack. Since the one jab is the fastest move Noctis has, you decide to jab up close, but your opponent blocks it. This is where the attacker is stuck in an attacking animation and the blocker is stuck in a blocking state known as block stun. The question is, who will be the first to recover and do a follow-up attack? The answer is Blue Noctis. He gets to attack one frame sooner because his jab made him +1 when it was blocked. I know this because I looked it up. If both Nocti followed up with a jab here, Blue Noctis would beat out Red Noctis by 1 frame. If a move is 0 on block, they both recover at the same time, hitting each other. If a move is -1 on block, the blocker gets unstuck first by 1 frame and wins the exchange. This is called frame advantage. Each of the thousands of moves out there has an on-block and on-hit value that determine what your best follow-up options are.
Easy peasy lemon squeeze.
The speed of the jab and its +1 on block frame advantage is why multi-Evo champ JDCR made an entire video discussing the importance of Tekken's one jab.
초보자분들이 잘 이 게임을 보일 때 잘 못
Just
보는
fucking
경우가
jab.
뭐냐면 되게 큰 기술만 많이 봐요.
It's annoying.
뭐 넘어뜨리는 기술, 띄우는 기술, 데미지가 센 기술. 근데 실질적인 격투 게임의
It's a good
과정은
button.
누가 그 기술을 먼저 유효하게 히트시키냐가 관건이거든요.
You want to hit
작은
people
기술을 써야지
fast. Just hit the fast
안전하게
button.
큰 기술을 쓸 수 있는 상황을 자기가 만들 수가 있어요. 또 원잽 자체가 실패했을 때도 리스크가 거의 없어요. 보통의 위험한 기술들은 내가 막 허치거나 막히면 리스크가 커서 이제 반격을 당하지만 원잽은 뭐 프레임도 실질적으로 이득이고 허쳐도 자신이 당하는 후들이 이제 리커버리가 크지 않기 때문에 많은 역할을 하는 기술을 할 수가 있죠. 이런 이제 초보분들이 잘 못 보는 부분을 이렇게 조금 작은 기술에 좀 포커스를 주시면 좋을 것 같아요.
The frame advantage can also help explain why you get hit in certain situations. This is me blocking Law's Dragon Hammer move. The Law players watching will know that I shouldn't be mashing buttons here, but I did, and I died. This move is +3 on block, and its follow-up attack has a startup speed of 11 frames. That means I needed a move with a startup speed faster than 8 frames to beat out Law's attack. According to the frame data of my character, that move doesn't exist. This means no matter what attack I mashed, I would have gotten hit by Law's follow-up move. In other words, it's a trap! More specifically, a frame trap. Frame traps are one of the top reasons why button mashing doesn't work.
After Asuka's Wild Standing 4,
This stream has done more to help me learn fighting games and 100 hours of Wooly talking. That's because Wooly's too good for you. I, however, am shit.
on hit, you cannot sidestep. You cannot press a single button, otherwise down 2 will counter hit launch you. It's something that Fergus likes to call the scrub killer.
While being plus is great, being
Pat, you haven't done anything? Exactly.
minus can be really bad. If your attack on block has enough minus frames, your opponent will have enough time to punish you before you can recover. But sometimes, even if you have enough time to punish, you might not reach. The pushback in Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo is huge.
That is
one block
crazy.
sweep can send you back to Footsie's range, and one extra fireball can take you to the end of the screen. ST Ryu says a lull to your nerdy frame data while zoning you out with fireballs. At this range, your punches and kicks won't reach, and if you don't have a projectile to fight back with, you have to dodge and close in. Mashing here will be as effective as mashing here.
Fatality. Hey, I'm going to stop you. Jumbo Man Draws has a really excellent point. Frame data does not need to be memorized. You don't need to memorize the numbers on frame data. You know what's plenty? Hey, this move is good and fast. This move is not good and fast. That's it. That's it.
These are situations where the striking ranges of punches and kicks are less emphasized, but there are also moments when movement is less emphasized, like when you can't move. If your footsies, ungamentals, or fireball game are godlike,
Oh no, I want to hear that again.
Unga metal?
Yeah, it's your Unga fundamentals.
Yeah.
if your footsies, ungamentals, or fireball game are godlike, you might score a knockdown on your opponent. The downed player is at a disadvantage because they cannot move or attack, while the standing player can do whatever they want. This is where the honorable player will step back and let their opponent get up and take a breather, right? Of course not. This is where you make their life hell. While your opponent is down, you have a chance to move in closer or run away, whichever is best for your character. Depending on your positioning, you might also get a chance to attack your opponent as soon as they get up. The art of attacking your opponent while they're getting up is called okizeme. Oki from the Japanese word to wake up, and zeme from the word for attack. Like a lot of beat-em-up games, you usually can't hit them while they're on the ground because they're invulnerable, but you can do the next best thing. Time an attack so it hits them the very first moment they're vulnerable. This kind of attack is called meaty, but meaty is a spectrum.
Oh, that was so meaty!
The later in your attack animation you hit your opponent, the meatier it is,
Look how
and the sooner
meaty
your
that
animation
is!
will recover, giving you extra plus frames. Button mashers tend to eat meaty attacks like a barbecue buffet because they're always pressing buttons while waking up instead of blocking. So the solution is to just block, right? Oftentimes, yes, but depending on the type of attack and direction, you have to choose the correct way to block. High or low, and left or right. When the attacker makes this ambiguous for you, it's called a mix-up.
I'm gonna block this whack-ass mix-up.
But what if you don't want to block and you don't want to get hit? There is another option.
Yeah!
In addition to being a good anti-air, Shenlong is also one of many different types of invincible reversals. If timed correctly,
Just hit
these
the
moves
button!
will be invulnerable at the moment you get up, allowing you to go through the meaty attack and hit them instead. So how do you defeat Shenlong and stand a chance? You just move away or block. Ryu is exaggerating about Shenlong the whole time. And of course, to beat block, you grab.
Right corner pressure, Powell going in. What's next?
Just grab!
Another one. Three.
Just grab!
Don't tell me four.
Just
Don't
grab!
tell me four. Don't tell me four.
As you can see, okizeme is about commitments and decision making because the timing of the exchange revolves around someone getting up. Some games like Tekken let you hit people on the ground and from the ground, but you still have to get up eventually. And sometimes, $60,000 can be riding on the one decision you commit to.
60,000 with one mix-up!
So are these sick reads or lucky guesses?
Doing some shit off of somebody's wake up is a guess.
This can get pretty political, especially waking up super while American.
Not enough to kill.
Oh, he's got him again! He's got him!
What a read!
Such is the nature of okizeme.
What a read! It wasn't a guess, it was a read!
Some or all of these concepts apply to every fighting game, but each game will have a different take on how they work. And the diversity of characters allow there to be unique playstyles within the game. But the other aspect of what makes these characters interesting is how you play them. One of the most memorable Street Fighter matches was the DreamHack Winner 2013. An unknown amateur Ryu who went by the tag Gandhi had such a bizarre playstyle, he tilted his more orthodox opponent and ended up beating him.
FSP is completely... I want to say mind-effed.
It's just the most annoying
And this
fucking
match
Ryu in
kind
the
of ended
world.
up being the Echemono of Street Fighter, a well-intentioned beginner uncompromised by formal training. But while Gandhi was playing at a beginner level, he was far from randomly button mashing. These jabs, even though he was whiffing against a crouching opponent, indicate that he understands quick attacks are preferable at close ranges. Him jumping back and throwing fireballs shows he wants to throw projectiles safely from a distance, and here he even does an anti-air. His rushdown jump attacks are so unpredictable, even he doesn't seem to know when he'll do them, and when he knocks down his opponent, he adds pressure using some basic okizeme, even closing out a round with a meaty jab. And of course, he uses invincible Dragon Punch reversals on his wake up to stop pressure. A lot.
Jump. So this player, the one you're watching, the one who is not able to do any combos, but he understands how to play the game at its base level, is the exact person that Modern Controls was made for. Goes, I know what I want to do, and I understand the concepts of what I want to do, but a lot of this is really hard. So instead, here's how you make the controls easier to do this. This guy, if he used Modern, he would look great.
Not be doing this. I wouldn't even be. Wait, the team.
Oh my goodness.
Gandhi might not have known how to FADC combo into Ultra like his opponent, but he had a semblance of the basics, and it was enough for him to enter a tournament, win a match, and have a great time doing it. Isn't that what everyone's trying to do, after all? This was Gerald from Corey Gaming. Thanks for watching.
Gerald, you're great. Your videos are great. Everybody loves your videos.
Dude, even like I actually understand things that I.
So that, you know, I was talking about this earlier, and I said, way earlier, I said the best showcase of intelligence is to be able to explain something complicated in really simple terms, right? And then I pointed out that Gerald's videos are fantastic because you can have no experience in fighting games, and he brings it down to a realistic understanding that everyone can appreciate.
Yeah. No, I was able to completely understand everything he was saying, and now it makes me want to converse about it, and it makes me want to play it.
So this video, I put it in because this is the exact mentality that led to modern controls in Street Fighter 6. You shouldn't have to button mash because you don't understand how to control your character. You, like, Paige, you understand the game plan of, like, I watched the match you did. Throw them when they're close and catch them off guard. Hit them with lows. You did a confirm into super, stuff like that. But all the like mechanics and all the nitty gritty of it is beyond you because you started playing that day.
Yeah.
Right? So the idea of like, I would like to play Ryu and I want to use fireballs to keep them away and shoryukens to get them out. But if I do get close and hit them, I want to do a little combo.
Yeah.
That's the game. That's the game. Yeah, Paige played one match of Street Fighter 6 during the last open beta and had it come down to the wire with like another beginner when you were playing Chun-Li, right?
Yeah, I was this close.
And it was like obviously super novice, but like the idea of how to play it was there because you weren't fighting the controls the whole time.
Right, yeah. No, it was very I don't want to say accessible, I think approachable. It was very approachable.
What's funny is I was talking about it before. I started to mess with modern controls. I find the characters completely paralyzing with modern controls. I have no idea what I'm doing.
Trachazoid says Paige picked Chun-Li, which is the hardest character to learn. Do you find that to be true?
Yeah, probably.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Then why didn't you stop me?
Because it's more important. It's more important that you went with a character you thought was cool than me saying, well, you know, honey, you should really try Ryu.
That's, you know, yeah. I guess that is true. I really liked her. Okay.
Like when the full roster is out, I would tell you to pick Marissa. Because Marissa, to me, emphasizes what Paige's playstyle is, which is gigantic unga bunga. And she's a giant lady.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I'll try her. Can I play with you on when it comes out just a little bit?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, do you think that'd be fun?
Absolutely.
I don't want to take any time away from.
No, absolutely not.
But maybe
I'm probably gonna play Street Fighter 3-4 times the following week it comes out.
Okay.
And I'm probably gonna play it once a week for like at least a month or two.
Also, doesn't if I'm not mistaken, Street Fighter 6 comes out on Zangief's birthday. But also Zangief's birthday.
I'll be playing it June 1st, regardless of whether or not I get a code, because Pacific Time is my friend. But Zangief's birthday is June 1st, and Zangief's birthday is June 1st. So we'll be celebrating Zangief's birthday and Zangief's birthday. It's also on Zangief's birthday. That's like I mentioned it. Like we were hemming and hawing. We had a bunch of dog names, but then when we got Zangief and his birthday was June 1st, which is actual Zangief's birthday, it felt like, oh, okay. Yeah. Well, that's kind of done and dusted for us. We can't. What about your birthday, Susie?
He was this close. He was this close.
I don't know when your birthday is. Actually, I have no idea.
Oh my God! Yeah, when is your birthday?
Paige, I know your birthday and my mom's birthday and my dad's birthday.
What's my birthday?
August 5th.
Good boy.
Yeah.
See? Hey, let me tell you something. The most important thing you ever learn is your significant other's birthday. I know it's stupid.
And their tolerance for you smoking crack cocaine.
I don't know about one, but yeah, no, Leo's the best. Leo's the best.
But yeah, it's time for everybody to get into Street Fighter. Street Fighter is for everyone now.
Stop!
It's because of that tea you gave me.
I don't care. When you belch into that mic, you know who has to deal with it? Me, because then I use this mic and it stinks.
Yeah, it's a little smelly, yeah.
Do you ever change those out or wash them?
Oh, no. Fuck no. I don't even know where the other one is.
Oh my god. Get another one. That's nasty.
You get another one.
No.
Okay, then.
It's smelly. Seriously, that's super gross. Like, what if one day you're, like, a little ill, and then I have to come over and, like, just, like...
What if I got really drunk, and then this thing just reeked of booze?
That would be terrible,
It would
Pat.
be embarrassing, wouldn't it?
Wouldn't it be terrible if I tripped over a bunch of alcohol bottles to get to the microphone?
Good thing I don't leave any around.
High five!
Let's watch the next video.
Okay.
Hello, America. My name is Dan Spoon, and I'm the CEO of GoFundMe, a personal crowdfunding website that gives you the tools you need to achieve your dreams. Honeymoons, dream vacations, the world was your oyster. That vision of the company vanished almost immediately as we instead became an unwilling linchpin of the American healthcare system. Over a third of campaigns on our platform are intended to raise funds for medical debt, which for many Americans can be overwhelming to the point of personal bankruptcy to...
You okay, Dan?
Yeah. I think the there might be an issue with the prompter because their faces are staring out at me asking me for help from it. Can we cut? While we do take a grim and haunted sort of pride in being the only option for America's 80 million un- or underinsured inhabitants, it also is slowly but surely destroying our will to live. Put simply, it would really help morale around here if there were a few lighthearted campaigns on the site. Just a few. We could really use some fun ones. So, we've started an initiative to rebrand the company and remind people, hey, this site's for more than just begging for your own life. For example, Jan Smelt from Cedar Rapids needs only $200 to build a cat tree for the fuzzy friends at her animal rescue. As you can see here, Jan just needs $40 more before her... This project has been postponed as Jan and her cats have been diagnosed with Hodgkin's lymphoma. Jan's insurance company is denying coverage because Jan recklessly chose to be secretly poisoned by the asbestos mill upriver from her house for over 40 years, and Jan is also being sued by the mill for damaging their brand image? What is the brand image of an asbestos mill? What is an asbestos mill?
No, look at my eyes.
I know why you're
what they're
laughing.
saying?
I know why you're laughing.
Okay.
I'm laughing too.
Okay.
Yeah, we're laughing.
We're laughing. Okay.
I used to live near a town named Asbestos in Quebec. Well,
not that close at all.
okay, hold on.
Yeah.
What the fuck is an asbestos mill? Asbestos is mined from the ground. It's a mineral.
And it comes from a place called asbestos.
Yeah, it's in Quebec.
Yeah.
Like, that's the weirdest thing about asbestos is that it is mined out of the earth. It's a rock. It gives you cancer.
Yeah.
It gives you a lot of cancer. Like,
But it's hard to catch on fire,
Lo-
and it's very warm.
like really, it gives you cancer fast. Don't breathe it.
Don't do that.
I remember when I was a kid, because I lived in Quebec, which obviously loved asbestos. There was a year where every single school had to get all the roof redone. All the roofs of every classroom redone. Because every single classroom in the entire province was just rife with asbestos. And in hindsight, they would like take it out on the weekends, but then they'd still have the popcorn ceiling up with like half removed asbestos out that was probably filtering all that asbestos into my lungs. I didn't get cancer.
God, I hope Jan's all right. An actual great example of a fun GoFundMe project is Devin Boone, who wants to go kayaking with his friends Tad and Steve. Devin writes, "Sup, bro."
I'm sorry. It happened twice during your McGill degree in 2018? McGill had asbestos as late as 2018? Holy shit!
Me, Tad, and Steve all finna hit those tasty waves out at this year's SurfCon. Our plan is to paddle out to sea, eventually crossing the border into Mexico. None of us have passports, and Steve's pancreatic cancer has unfortunately metastasized.
All right.
Yeah, this one.
I get it.
This one's dark. It's
Let's
good.
laugh at the Irish.
Catch him, Derry! Derry, catch him! There's a backstory.
How are the Irish upset about things when they talk amongst each other in this manner? They're the little cartoon people. They're fake people.
What your parents talk like?
Listen.
Well, hey there, just eating that horse over there.
That's normal.
I'd love to have some maple syrup.
That's normal.
Delicious. I'll get me a bag of milk. Like, that's how you talk.
Yeah, you kind of slid into...
I did. But that's how you talk.
Today I'm asking my little brother if he's ever going to get married. Okay, so do you ever want to get married? No. Why? Because you're my sister. No!
That's funny. That's good.
If you're dumb enough to buy a new car this weekend, you're a big enough schmuck to come to Big Bill Hell's Car. Bad deal. Cars that break down. Thieves. If you think you're gonna find a bargain at Big Bill, you can kiss my ass. It's our belief that you're such a stupid motherfucker. You'll fall for this bullshit.
Guaranteed.
If you find a better deal, shove it up your ugly ass.
What's that?
You heard us right.
Shove it up your ugly ass.
Bring your tray. Bring your title. Bring your wife. We'll fuck her. That's right, we'll fuck your wife. Because at Big Bill Hell, you're fucked 6 ways from Sunday. Take a hike to Big Bill Hell, home of challenge pissing. That's right, challenge pissing. How does it work? If you can piss 6 feet in the air straight up and not get wet, you get no down payment. Don't wait. Don't delay. Don't fuck with us or we'll rip your nuts off. Only at Big Bill Hell. The only dealer that tells you to fuck off. Hurry up, asshole. This event ends the minute after you write us a check. And it better not bounce or you're a dead motherfucker. Go to hell. Big Bill Hell's Cars. Baltimore's filthiest and exclusive home of the meanest sons of bitches in the state of Maryland. Guaranteed.
So every time I watch this on the fucking show, I feel like I really have to go into detail about why this is so funny. So what this looks like is somebody fucked up a video with some VHS filtering and made this old-fashioned style commercial. No, this is from the 80s. This is a commercial from the 80s. It's not real, but it was a bunch of dickheads that had access to, like, I think it was like news station equipment to copy and fucking edit VHS tapes and dub over them. And they would make VHS tapes of this stupid shit and literally, like, go over to each other's houses and trade VHS tapes of their fucking memes. And this is one of those. This is the distribution of the meme prior to the internet. Okay, so before we watch this video, I want to say that I'm related to every single person in this video in spirit. In my life. People got real fucking hometown pissed off about Celine Dion. because she was from fucking Quebec and she was fucking French and she made it.
Yeah.
She made it fucking
Real
big.
Yeah.
So don't you fucking talk shit about Celine.
Also, yeah, something that I found really interesting is her name is Celine, not Celine.
No, it's Celine. Yeah.
Celine, which I didn't know.
And if you want to point out that she married like a fucking 85-year-old man who knew her when she was 12, shut up. Fucking Quebec pride. Has anyone in this chat even heard of Rock Voisin? Anyone? No. Abare has. Fucking, I could tell who's from Quebec, because only people from Quebec would have ever heard of Rock Voisin.
Will you explain who it is?
They're a singer that only people from Quebec would ever know. That's it. That's it.
He is from Three Rivers.
Yeah, that's where my dad's from. What's a Moose Jew? No, Moose Jaw. It's a real town. It's in Alberta.
Cowboys!
Wow, that's way funnier now that we're in
Yeah,
BC.
it's way funnier now that we're in BC. I've had it in an IMO bar. It's okay.
It's good. It's good.
It's all right. Okay, BP4DN says, wait, he speaks English. Every group of 4 or 5 dumbass shithead Quebecer guys that will only speak to you in French has the one friend who actually totally does speak English.
Yeah.
Mandatory. Absolutely
and
mandatory.
If you're in Montreal, if they will only speak to you in French, they do know and understand.
Hey,
English.
we got Raiders from Adam. Hey, Adam.
Adam, hi. We love you. But yeah, they all know.
No, it's not. It is not a translator.
No.
No, it is. It is just there happens to be a guy who speaks English.
Yeah, but in Montreal specifically,
yeah,
everybody knows. They just won't.
You know, my favorite interaction I have not gotten once since moving to BC.
What?
Okay, speaking. Hey, I would like a coffee. Or so I'm going to get a coffee. I see the person in front of me. They say to the person in front of me, "Oh, bonjour, qu'est-ce que vous voulez avec ton café?" Okay, I go, okay, person's French.
Yeah.
Got it.
Totally.
I will go up, and I was like, "Ah, bonjour, je peux avoir un café avec 2 sucres et du crème." And they go, "How would you like your coffee?" And I'm like, I just asked for the coffee in French, but you are like performatively sighing and switching to English and being sad.
Yep. Because his accent isn't perfectly Quebec.
Yeah, to you guys, it all sounds like garbage, but to native francophone, my accent's like plain as day, plain as day, and
well, that would happen to me. Like I was in intensive French, and I was like, I'm so excited because I was learning, and I would go out and I would try to speak with people in French, and they would be mad. But then if I spoke English, they would also be mad.
Now I want to be fair. I want to be fair to everyone here. Okay? Paige has a hilariously American accent in French.
I tried
really
hard.
It is no, it's cute. It's genuinely cute. It's really cute. But it is like a fucking it is a megaphone for Americanism. Yeah, one of the things that was
Adam,
interesting.
No, I'm not going to speak French.
What was really interesting in Quebec, every person in the world could clock you as American from 100 feet.
Oh yeah.
Right, but not in BC.
No.
They ask you where you're from, and you go, "Oh, really?"
So this is super interesting. Everywhere we've ever been, they're always like, "Oh, so you're where in the states are you from?" And I'm like, "How do you know?" And they're like, "It's the way you dress. You smile real big. Like I wave," and I'm like, "Hello." I'm just a big clown.
It's the cowboy hat.
But in BC, yeah, it's the invisible cowboy hat. But in BC, everyone clocks Pat as American, and they think I'm from the prairies.
Yeah.
And we don't know why.
I can tell you why.
Why?
Because BC is sealed off from the rest of the country by the Rockies, and their only actual point of touching any other provinces is fucking Alberta, and Alberta is fucking hilarious. That's where Adam's from, right?
I don't know. I think so.
Adam's from the prairies somewhere.
Adam, Can you confirm or
He's from from Edmonton.
Edmonton.
Yeah.
That's
Okay,
right.
Adam, you can confirm. People from Alberta are hilarious. Holy shit.
Oh no, Ubu says I have, or I'm sorry, McMaster says I have
Snow Cowboys.
I have serious oil girl vibe. Oh
You do.
no.
Yeah,
what
you
is
do.
that? What does that mean?
It's like Yeehaw, but like not trash. Because oil girls have money. So they're not hick enough to be like, Yeehaw, how's your sister?
Do I seem like posh?
No, definitely not.
Whoa.
You sound like someone from the South, but who knows better than to call it wash your sister sauce.
I love calling it wash your sister sauce.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think so.
Holy fuck, that is the worst spelling of nouveau rich I've ever seen. Neuvou.
I mean, this is close.
It's not close.
I mean, you know.
It's not close at all. Nouveau riche is Nouveau space Riche.
It's close enough.
Is it pronounced nouveau rich or nouveau riche? Well, okay, it's pronounced le nouveau riche
in French.
But none of you are going to roll your R like that. So you could say nouveau riche.
Really? I feel like, at least when I've conversed with people, I hear the nouveau rich.
Yeah, you can say that too.
Like, as if it's a loan word.
It's a loan term, so right. Yeah.
I think everyone will know what
you mean. Like my mother, she's lived in Quebec her entire life. She still cannot say street in French.
You know what she says, though?
What's that?
Oh, hey there, I love the color turquoise.
Yeah, she does
do that. Turquoise? You do that as well.
Well, yeah, that's who I learned how to talk from.
You guys know the color turquoise, right?
Yeah, turquoise, yeah. You know what's funny is that...
And the pterodactyl?
No, that's not the worst one. The worst one, I'll die in my grave before I say anything.
You're gonna die in your grave?
Yeah, I'll be dead in my grave. But the worst one that my mother says, and I have fought her on this since I was like 3 years old. As soon as I could talk, she's like, "Patrick, would you like to come out with me and sit on the gallery?"
The gallery.
The gallery. You know the gallery part of your house? So the gallery is the little it's the little sitting area next to your porch. You know the gallery. No. Not the gallery. No. It has a D in it. It's the gallery. No, it doesn't, Mom. Yes, it has a D. Decades of fighting with my mother over the pronunciation of the phrase gallery.
So, well, okay, what kind of... So it's not a porch, right? Well, what kind of area was it? Like, can you describe...
Where's my mom from?
No, the kind of area that is the gallery.
Okay, so you have like a series of steps coming up to your front door, and then you have like 2 feet to the front door, and then you have like 6 feet to the direct right where you'd put like 2 chairs. So
that's a porch.
So you could call that a porch, but like it's like a viewing gallery, so it can also be known as a gallery.
the Galadriel.
But my mother insists that it's the gallery.
But that's a porch. That's a fucking porch, or a deck, depending.
Remember, we are from different countries. You can see why you would call it a gallery, right?
Yeah, no, well, a gallery to me is more like a room where, there's a lot of, it's like a library, but instead of a library, it's got a lot of paintings and shit on the wall, like a gallery, or maybe like a sunroom where you can like look outside and maybe it's covered, like a sunroom.
Yeah, we don't really have sunrooms out east.
That's not true. It's a solarium.
Yeah, I guess.
Because I remember when we were looking for houses, when we were still looking in Quebec and the East Coast, I was Googling places that had solariums. Because I love the way.
Yeah, my mother has her own dialect. That's true.
She really does. Bless her.
All right, let's finish off this.
Okay.
I'm sorry, everyone, for Simple Plan. That's our bad. Simple Plan is from Montreal. I'm really sorry.
We gotta watch Letterkenny.
Yeah, for real.
We really do.
this is gonna be gross, isn't it? Have a good night, Adam.
Love you, Adam.
Gee, Cuphead. Fighting all day sure is tiring.
Works up quite a thirst, doesn't it, Mugman? And I wish we had something to drink. Oh, I have an idea.
No!
Come on, Mugman.
No.
Mugman.
No.
Mugman.
You can't drink me.
Well, why not?
I don't know what you think is in here, but I'm pretty sure we have liquid brains. It could also be our bladder, stomach, or blood, but no one really knows. Not to mention all the ideas fanfic writers have.
Well, if I can't drink you, then I'll just have to drink myself.
Please don't do that.
Forget it. This is pretty good.
Jesus.
Mmm. Mmm. Oh. See, Mugman? I drank my whole head and it was delicious. It wasn't anything vital like... Revive me already!
Admit you're stupid!
Over my dead body! Fine, I'm stupid.
Okay.
That was really good.
Yay.
Great animation.
Yeah, never mind. This is actually pretty good.
Oh no! No, Mugman! Don't do it. I will not apologize for Nickelback.
Animations! Yeah!
What's the emergency?
There's a contaminant in the reactor pool. We don't know what it is.
Is this the microwave tea the colonies are talking about? Bit spicy though, isn't it? It's not that bad. Oh, what a cute portrait drawing you made for me.
I spent all sun drawing it.
Hello, hello! Did someone just make a donation to Her Majesty's fucking museum?
That's how it happened!
Over.
They stole it!
European accents are really hot. Specifically, British ones.
I live in Smethwick, Birmingham. If you want to fucking roll, calm down, ask for Danny G and I'll break your fucking legs. You little prick! You will see! You'll fucking see!
So dreamy.
It's true!
Public service announcement. There's been comments on our channel posing as us, saying you want a prize. This is a scam. This is not us. You don't win anything on this channel. There's a blue check mark next to our name. That's who we really are. Oh, that's phony baloney.
Yeah, this is how it felt.
Hey guys, it's
Yeah,
me,
that's it.
best
Yeah,
friend,
that's
and
it.
it is finally here.
Hey, real quick. What do you want for dinner? I was thinking.
I don't
just-
care.
Okay, I think I might just make like a tortellini with like meat sauce kind of thing.
That sounds
Okay.
great.
Okay.
I would eat a piece of bread with peanut butter on it.
I know you would. I know.
I'd eat that every day for like a bunch of years, actually. Because I did.
The ball's hardened.
cool.
I get it.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah!
Excuse me. Can you tell me how to get to the station?
Huh? なんだって?
Can you tell me how to get to the station?
Oh no! A foreigner!
ほほう。英語か。勧誘は結構だ。
What? No. Can you tell me how to get to the station?
だから勧誘は結構なんだって。
英語も話せないなんて勉強が足りないね。
Can you tell me how to get to the station?
Go! Straight! And turn right! Go, go, go! Go your way! Believe yourself!
Oh, all right, thank you.
You are welcome! You can't have a rainbow without...
Ryan, what are you?
Ryan, suck on
I see.
This is the same
Melia,
meme as before
are
with
you feeling
shittier
okay?
animation.
I am fine. Ryan, however, I'm not so sure about.
Hold on a second. Hold on. I want to find something. Hold on. Hold on. Fucking. Hold on. Fucking. What's his name? Ichiban meets a foreigner English. Here it is. Okay, so this is a really cool little detail that I'm madly in love with. So we just watched the Japanese version of the scene, right?
Go! Straight! You are welcome!
So this is the English version of that scene, which, as you could imagine, might be a little more confusing.
Right.
Excuse me.
Huh?
Would you tell me how to get to the station?
Huh? What nonsense you speaking?
Would you tell me how to get to the station?
So now part one is taking him and ramping up a little bit of that, like, America man in foreign country. Yep. Slow nod. Turn to the camera. Thumbs up.
Like, that's unique to the dub. Specifically because the whole situation makes no sense.
Yeah.
I love it. Hey, Paige, you haven't seen Star Trek Voyager. So,
No.
so this is Janeway right here. So some people are a little confused. Neelix and Tuvok got in a transporter accident and got fused into one person. And then Janeway's like, okay, we'll split them apart. And he's like, I would really not like to die. And she's like, too bad.
Wait, so they... here's my question. Do they like being together?
Yeah.
So they don't want...
Yeah, they don't want to split.
So what is the reason?
Because she's like, no, split.
Well, but what is the...
I'm giving you the whole episode.
Well, but...
I'm giving you everything.
Well, people are saying she's not wrong, but surely there is some logical reason...
The reason is, no, we split you now.
Well, you're saying fusions are not people, but that's like saying Silverbolt in Beast Wars isn't technically a person. Because even though he is technically two people in one.
Yeah.
So it, and also even if they are, I will not shut up. I will never shut up. Even if I love Beast Wars. No, even if they are two people, if they enjoy being together, that's like separating Dax and the host.
Yeah, totally. Well, she's like, no, I don't care. We're getting the old... That noise is real.
Wait, are you telling me that's actually the end?
No, there's a bit more. And then they're like, thanks. It's good to be back.
So they were happy. So wait, are they happier separated or together?
Well, no, here's the problem. Separated, they're like, thanks for getting us back because we're our own people now.
Right.
But when they were together as one person, that one person didn't want to fucking die.
So Tuvix was a completely different person.
Yeah, a new
than those
person.
two. Oh, I see. Okay, so it wasn't both of their thoughts into a new.
No, it was a completely new person.
Oh, I understand. I don't know anything about Voyager or anything about.
And
this.
they're like screaming, like, "Don't kill me, please."
Okay, that makes it a little more tricky because it's like, but then how? But here's the question: how would she know if the two people?
She didn't. She assumed.
She assumed. If she knew that the two people would want to be separated versus the one who didn't, that would make it more of a dilemma, would it not?
Yeah, probably.
But this is not a dilemma. That just seems like because she didn't know. Does that make sense?
She didn't care.
She didn't care.
No, she was like, "No, I'm getting them back. Fuck you.
Huh.
Die."
Okay. Also, I don't think they needed a doctor to perform that. Considering
Well, I mean,
like,
usually they would do that. Yeah.
Yeah, but
Hey, be right back. Excuse me. I have to pee. Excuse me.
Oh, okay.
Hey, we're back, dweebs.
My very first week in the U.S.
By the way, I just saw somebody saying that it's nice that Star Trek can have cool ideas decades after the episode airs, but it's annoying that people will hardline opinions they had decades ago to avoid having a conversation. Yeah, people hardline those opinions because nothing changed. That bitch murdered that guy. End of story. Done. There's no discussion to be had. Well, what if that? But no, it didn't. The guy's screaming out, "Don't kill me now!" And then they're like, "I don't care. Die."
I think the episode would be more compelling and more like heart-wrenching if we somehow knew for sure that these other two characters desperately wanted to be changed, like to get out of the situation.
There's like,
but this new person did not.
There's like literally, Gotenks isn't a
compelling.
person. Gotenks wears off after 30 minutes.
No, so true, Endless. I'm just saying, like, I can see what they were trying to do with the episode, but if it's just she just wanted to, it's
The
like,
Gotenks idea is like a terrible, terrible attempt. Like bad idea.
Is Vegito a person?
No.
Wait, who's Vegito? It's
Vegito, Gogeta, and Gotenks are all DBZ fusions, but they all literally split apart after 30 minutes.
So there is a known time limit.
Yeah, absolutely.
And everyone knows what a fusion is in that.
And also,
right?
like, Vegito is because he puts the earrings on, and that has no time limit, but then they take the earrings off willingly and then split back.
Yeah, also a fusion in that world is consensual, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Whereas in this, in Voyager, this was an accident, right? Like, it was a teleporter accident?
Yeah, it's always a teleporter accident.
Yeah.
Earrings are supposed to be permanent, and they take them off.
Yeah, earrings aren't permanent. You just kind of...
Yeah, they take them off. Anyway, back to this guy.
For college, there was a hurricane or tornado alert, and everyone went home or something, and all I could think of, where do I go? What do I do when the wind is trying to kill me? I'm going to tell you a story. In my college years, the place where I was living got hit with a hurricane. And I had roommates, and they were freaking out. They stocked up on supplies. They were like hunkered down. They were expecting the power to go out. All that stuff, right? They were just like hunkered down in our little apartment, and they were like ready to go like the distance, right? The hurricane came. It was actually pretty bad. It was like actually pretty scary. And then the exact location of where we lived fell into the eye of the hurricane. Do you know what that is? It's like a period of calm where there's like nothing there. And then we were like, is it over?
No!
And then one of my roommates was like, no, this is just the eye of the storm.
Oh, good.
This is about the halfway point.
Good.
It's gonna get crazy again. This is where you're gonna realize that I'm actually more similar to Axel than you think I am. I think it's just like a bunch of hard years that have made me a little bit wiser, but I put on my shoes. I put on a jacket. I left my apartment and I went to the local bar. And I sat down at the bar, and there was like it was usually like bumping. There's usually like a lot of people at that bar, but there's only like including the workers, including the staff, about 6 people there. And then I had a pint, having a good chat with the other people there, having a good chat with the bartender who I was like pretty close friends with. We were just drinking and having a good time. And then the hurricane hit again. And then I was stuck in that bar for the rest of the for about 30 hours. I was stuck in the bar, like I couldn't go back home. It was cool. It was fine. They had food. Like the bartender was really cool. Like we just hunkered down, and I was not in danger. It was fine. And then I went back home after the storm ended. I went back home.
They must have thought he fucking died.
Were so angry at me. I like to think that I'm a pretty good roommate. I'm not too loud. I don't eat food that's not mine.
I always do my dishes immediately afterwards. I clean the bathroom more than I should because I'm like, kind of a neat freak. I like to think that I'm a pretty good roommate. They never really complained about me. That was the one time where they were just so mad at me. I thought they were gonna punch me. Both of them were yelling at me. They were like, what the F were you thinking? We thought you died.
Yeah,
we thought
of
we were
course.
gonna have to like call the cops.
He walked out
and
of the
then call your
hurricane and
parents
then he
and
never
tell them
came
that
back.
You're dead. You walked into a hurricane and then you died. What were you thinking? And I was just like, oh yeah, sorry mates. Just thought I'd get like a cheeky pint. Thought it would just be a little hee hee ha ha, sorry.
What a stupid fucking story.
I didn't mean to troll them. I didn't mean...
All right, that's gonna be it for this. I'm gonna throw another Core Gaming on because I want to. Goodbye, old list of stuff.
Vesper's the male equivalent of Paige. This guy's made of good fortune and miracles. Oh, so he's the opposite.
Paige, you have such good fortune. What are you talking about?
I mean, I kind of do. I have simultaneously bad and good, but it never just regular.
Oh, you know what?
What?
This is good. This is the one. This is the one that people need to watch. You all need to learn this, everyone. It's gonna hurt, but it sucks.
Whoa. Are you going after his paws, bro? The best matches in fighting games are the ones where you don't know which player is stronger. The games go back and forth as they gradually learn each other's patterns and habits. Only one person can win the set,
and it's going to be Sonic Fox.
They'll win the next one.
They know the real tears right there.
These good matches are the ones we remember most, but because fighting games are so fast and so complex, these matches can be rare. Everyone will experience one-sided sets.
That was supposed to be his round, dude.
And it's important to be able to learn from and have fun with
So
them,
much footage
whether
of
you're
Sonic
the stronger
Fox just
player
being
or
like,
the
yeah, I
weaker
won.
one. I'm Patrick Miller for Core Gaming, and this is why getting bodied is good for you. Finding good matches in IRL fighting games, or martial arts, is hard because you have to balance for both skill and physical ability. If you sign up for a competition, you'll be grouped with other players by age, weight, and gender. But if you're just practicing in the gym, you'll be sparring with people of all different levels and body types, so you might not have many good matches. As my coaches used to say, some days you're the hammer, other days you're the nail. If you played fighting games in arcades back in the day, this will sound familiar, because most times you were just lucky if you had someone else to play with, never mind finding someone close to you in skill. When I played Capcom vs. SNK 2 at the UC Berkeley Barricade, rest in peace, I would either make $1 last for an hour bodying scrubs, or be blowing my weekly token budget losing to Ricky Ortiz, John Choi, Lizzie, Senor Payaso, and a bunch of other NorCal CVS2 killers. Now we have fighting games with online matchmaking, and when we get into a match and get blown up, we'll often blame the matchmaker. Matchmaking systems in fighting games generally have to balance 3 factors: internet latency, time spent waiting in queue, and each player's skill rating. When you click play, the matchmaker will look for low lag matches with people close to your skill rating, and as you wait longer, the matchmaker will relax its definition of low lag and close in skill, so you aren't waiting forever for your perfect match. This is one reason why fighting games need good netcode and crossplay. However, even games with healthy player bases often make matches that feel unfair. Ideally, a matchmaker is supposed to pair you with someone that you have a 50% chance of beating, so when it makes a bad match and you get destroyed, you either feel like you don't belong at your skill division, or you feel that your opponent doesn't belong there because they're secretly a strong player that just wants to pick on newbies. Here's the thing. I've watched a lot of newer players play against each other in many different fighting games, and a lot of those matches look one-sided even if both players are roughly equal overall. That's because these players are usually not yet playing a complete, well-rounded game. Fighting games test you on your ability to do a lot of complicated things very quickly against another person. You need to get good at execution and reaction skills, game knowledge, and player reads in offensive, defensive, and neutral situations. Imagine we have 2 hypothetical new players. player A has a B- in offense because they're a training mode natural and quickly picked up combos and pressure, but they've got a D in neutral because they're used to playing single player games where they don't have to think about feeling out another person's.
I want to point out that that's Min. If you've ever seen Min play fighting games, he is a fucking lab beast, but his neutral falls apart.
Patterns. Player B has a D in offense and a B- in neutral because they came from Smash. So they're used to stuff like movement and positioning, but they're not yet used to stringing attacks together. We'll assume that they're both equally bad at defense because most newer players don't really learn how to defend until later. When player A and B are matched together, either player A's offense will make player B feel like the game they're playing is about memorizing boring combos and set play instead of fighting like real warriors. Or player B's skill in neutral will make player A feel like the game is about poking and running away like a wimp instead of showing off your cool combos. Once they get everything to at least a C, they'll get to adapt back and forth. But until then, their matches are going to feel pretty one-sided even if they're both relatively equal players overall. This is why matchmaking is hard in fighting games. If the matchmaker is accurate, you'll be winning and losing evenly, but they could all be hammer and nail games. Even at high levels, you'll often see highly lopsided matches between pro players, just because differences in playstyle and matchup experience can lead to huge blowouts. So get used to playing uneven sets, whether you're playing with a friend who's new to the genre, or playing Daigo in a show match. They're good for you, whether you're the hammer or the nail, but they're only good if you've got a learning mindset.
Do you have any bad habit?
No, I'm practically perfect in every way.
Most fighting game players know what it's like to be the nail, because you don't get good at these games without losing a lot. Sometimes, though, you get beaten so badly, you don't even feel like you really got a chance to play.
This might be the quickest CVS2 top 4 I've ever seen.
Don't worry. Here are 2 things you can do to make sure you're learning. Pay attention to why you're losing, and ask your opponent how to beat the stuff that's beating you. One of the beautiful things about fighting games is that ass whoopings come in several flavors. Playing footsies against Ricky Ortiz in CVS2, for example, was terrifying because her Vega made me feel like I wasn't allowed to stop defending, since I ate a crouching medium claw to the gut whenever I tried to walk forward.
Yep.
In contrast, when I played against Dominion in Street Fighter 4 pools at CEO one year, I remember feeling like every attack I tried was so predictable and easily blocked that pushing buttons just felt pointless. And when I played Marvel 3 with Clockwork, I remember feeling like I had spent 3 years playing the game without ever really learning how to block. I have been bodied by each of these people and countless others besides, and I can tell you that each one is a different kind of scary that you too will come to recognize. The first time it happens, it could feel so shocking and so hopeless that you couldn't imagine learning anything from it. But as you get used to playing strong players, each beatdown will become a reminder to do small things differently. You'll stop using the attacks that they always punish. You'll see your movement and defense habits get exposed, and you'll change them up. Eventually, your fear itself can become a tool for diagnosing your problem. If someone makes you afraid to press buttons in neutral, it's because they have your movement and pacing down, so you'll have to throw them off by walking forward and blocking, or baiting a whiff punish attempt with a faster button. When they're blocking all your attacks, it's because your attack timing is predictable, so you'll change your timing to fish for throws and counter pokes. And when your defense is exposed, you'll have to stop mashing and practice holding those mix-ups. The changes you make might not work at first.
I really appreciate the style change from Pat right now. He's playing so much lamer than he was before.
They might not work at all, but through trying and failing, you will get stronger. Once you have an idea of why you're losing, you can speed up your adaptation process by asking questions. If you don't know how your opponent's tools work, or what you're supposed to do about them, or why their buttons are always beating yours, just ask them. I know it's more satisfying to figure out the answer on your own, but it's more efficient for both of you to ask.
It's a rare situation, but I've run into it with like Wooly and other people where, you know, somebody's button or move is blowing you up and you go, what the fuck am I supposed to do here? And they'll look at you and go, I don't know. I don't know what you are supposed to do here because I am not in that situation. And then you're like, wait a second. They don't know what the fuck they're doing. I bet I could find something that beats this.
This is not easy for everyone. There are some people in fighting games who are too proud to ask for help. For them, this is harder than losing. They have a much harder time with these games than the rest of us do because they have to figure this all out on their own. And what if you're the hammer? I've heard strong players say they don't get anything from playing people who are too weak, and I get it. One-sided butt kickings aren't as fun as winning close matches, and if you're not careful, you can build bad habits by beating weaker players with things that better players will punish you for. But I've found that these sessions are valuable when I use them to experiment and explore. I play other characters to round out my game knowledge. I go for the hard combos. I try to parry things that I'd normally just block. Interestingly enough, this also applies to martial arts. John Danaher is a high-level Brazilian jiu-jitsu coach who excels at describing the conceptual side of grappling. And in an interview a couple years ago, he said some really interesting things about skill levels in his sparring opponents.
People have a mistaken impression that you should always be training with the toughest guys. It's not true at all. I believe about 80 to 90% of your training should be with people who are significantly lower in skill level than you are.
I don't know if that 80 to 90% applies for fighting games, but I will say that I play a lot of weaker players during my Guilty Gear stream lobbies, and it's given me a lot of time to explore different parts of my game and focus on specific skills.
Okay, so here's where I can bring in my own personal expertise. So when I was playing the Street Fighter open beta last week, like I'm pretty average at fighting games, but a lot of the people in this chat are fairly new. There was Kinda Free, and there was a couple other people that were beating the fucking piss out of me, but I think I won like 80 or 90% of my matches. And in those matches, I got to like try things and like do certain combos in a real match that helped me way more than they would have had I just done them in training mode. Because in training mode, everything's calm and no one's hitting you. But in a real match, doing that combo is the actual stressful feeling that you are actually going to feel when you need to do it, and is thus way more helpful.
Against players my level or higher, I can get too preoccupied with trying to prove I'm better than they are, even if it's just casuals. But against weaker players, my brain has more time to think and explore at a relaxed pace. I get to play the game by asking myself questions like, I wonder if this tool works in this situation, or what happens if I try to do A instead of B? Not only do I get better, the games also get a little easier for the other player too.
So a really good example, when I was playing Ryu and people were jumping in on me constantly, I got to feel exactly how good his standing roundhouse is as an anti-air. It's really good. It's really, really good. It's good against like damn near everything. But I only fucking learned that like in my chest because I got to practice it against people fighting to jump in on me. Not a training dummy trying to fight to jump in on me, but like real people getting frustrated and trying to jump in on me.
No! We don't get to have the good matches without the bad matches, because the bad matches are often where we learn the most. So, as a fighting game player, you have to do your best to learn from the sets where you're the hammer and the sets where you're the nail. Like everything else in fighting games, it's not easy and it takes a lot of practice. But when both the hammer and the nail are playing to learn, even the bad matches can get pretty good. I'm Patrick Miller for Core Gaming. Thanks for watching.
So this goes into one of the things that Wooly talks about a lot on Getting to Fighting Games, in that losses are just as valuable as wins as long as you pay attention and learn anything. Like anything. Like if he's playing Blanca, like way back in the day when Street Fighter 4 came out, and I was playing a lot of Boxer, and Wooly was playing a lot of Blanca, and my Boxer beat the shit out of his Blanca over and over and over because Boxer's jab beat Blanca ball. Like every time. You could actually jab Blanca out of fucking Blanca ball, and it was ridiculous. Until he stopped doing, Boxer as in Balrog in the US. Until he stopped doing Blanca balls as reactions. And then all of a sudden, that shit evened out. Alright. That's going to be it for us today. Looking forward to Street Fighter next week, everybody. Hooray, Street Fighter. I'm going to beat up my pregnant wife on camera.
I told Pat, I was like, hey, you should put the title of the, I mean, you don't have to, but I thought it'd be funny to put the title as, like,
Pregnant wife, in brackets, at video games.
Video games.
At video games.
Beat my pregnant wife. Live.
I'm beating 2 people up. I'm beating for 2. All right.